Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Darkest Hour. Tonight is episode 35 with some special guests from the Hold the Line podcast. Arcane Armor, Kenknobi, and Sobadstrange. Let's say hi to the boys. Boys.
Hello.
What's going
Hola.
on?
Konnichiwa.
We finally made it happen. It only took an extra week.
Yeah,
Not bad.
slightly delayed, but we're here now.
You know, that was actually our first missed episode ever.
True.
Yeah, we had every single week, but we finally had to miss one. So just to let you guys know, chat and YouTube, I have been viciously sick again. I've been sick like 4 times this year, which is not normal for me. Donnie is out. He had COVID really bad, and he's having some after COVID shit going down that's making him a little nervous. So he has to go see a doc. So I don't know, something went around and kicked the shit out of us. But just wanted to say sorry for missing last week. I tried to reschedule the day. The second day, Wednesday last week, didn't work, and then we were going to do it Thursday, and then Jay had family, so you know how it goes. We couldn't do it, but that's all right. Gave me time to recover, gave people time to play the new big patch and hotfix, which is actually kind of a good thing. We delayed the podcast actually last week because we were waiting for the giant patch to drop, and then, you know, things fell apart a bit. But here we are, episode 35. We have the Hold the Line boys on.
Yeah, if you were going to miss a week, you definitely picked the right week to miss. So we all got way more time on the patch.
Yeah.
We have more developed opinions, and it was tactical, strategic.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is all by design.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been coughing my ass off by design. So if I cough in the mic tonight, my bad. Sorry about that.
Shame.
So first things first, the Hold the Line podcast is what, episode 4 now? Tomorrow? 5?
8.
Oh my God, I'm
Oh,
way off.
really?
You guys have been going
Really?
2
I
months?
didn't even know that.
Halfway there, Soma.
Whoa, 2 months already. Wow, that's awesome.
I know.
So you guys saw the Darkest Hour. You guys were like, damn, that podcast is so fucking good. We have to beat it.
These guys are so handsome and
Yeah.
charismatic. We're just gonna go just do it better, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, give us the rundown. Like, how'd you guys connect? You know, when did the light bulb go off? How's it been going? Fill us in.
Well, I think it was originally, was this your idea so bad? You came to me with the you wanted to do a podcast, and me and Sobad have been friends for like 7, 8, 9 years at this point.
Nice.
He's like, we should start a podcast, and we were looking for a third, and we were like, well, Arcane's actually like super good addition.
Like the sweatiest gamer they know. They were like, who can we get that's better than
True.
Jay? And
Well, yeah, we're like, who's the best wizard we know? Obviously, it's Arcane Armor. He's way better than Jay in every way. Super
Yeah.
charismatic. It looks.
I learned everything I know from him.
I mean, the hats. You mean you're copying his hat style? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
Now I
yeah.
jumped too far.
But we were looking for like a well-rounded ensemble. Like I'm like the sweaty dork. So bad is like the super optimist, and then Arcane kind of just with cats, and Arcane just kind of ties it all together with like a more humble perspective. And I don't know, it's a good dynamic.
No,
Kind of
totally.
similar to what you guys got.
Yeah, exactly. Donnie the casual, me the tryhard that's average, and then Jay the god. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to have all those perspectives
No.
for sure. All right.
Yeah,
Whatever,
Jay's all right.
Hercules. Fuck off, Jay. We all know you're good. Anyway,
Barely.
God, he's good and humble. Oh man.
yes, he's the humblest. Yes.
really
me.
good at killing so bad with earthquakes. We found that out yesterday. Very
God,
me?
earthquake right now is fucking insane.
No, I
Oh,
killed
you.
Josh yesterday with earthquake. Yeah,
That's
it was,
me.
It was shameful. Yeah,
Ah, feels good.
That's hilarious.
It happens.
it does.
My favorite is when you put it on the front line while the front line is swinging the wormhole, and the
Hey,
other
I
guy
put it
is in
in
front of me
front
also
of
swinging the
you.
wormhole, and you're like, earthquake on? And I'm already like, okay, we're just going toe to toe till one of us is dead. Wormhole's swinging.
I gave you
Therapy.
a solid 0.5 second warning as you were mid swing with the wormhole, and we all know you can cancel that. So yeah, I mean it was strategic, very strategic.
Dude, when I waltz into a fight with a wormhole, I'm essentially gonna count to 10 until I'm dead because I just get kited to shit. I suck with it, man. I'm so bad. It's terrible. It's a good weapon though. I mean, it feels good
You
to
can't
destroy a
You can't
cleric.
change.
Yeah, it's tough though. Okay, so we had a giant fucking EA patch drop and a hotfix. I just want to say, when the fucking patch first dropped, the big EA patch, I was having so much fun. It was so amazing. And I know I sound like one of the Reddit crybabies who, you know, has been bitching about this hotfix, but I have to admit, the last few days have been really difficult for me in Dark and Dark. I'm not having as much fun. Normals are really fucked right now. High rollers are kind of empty. The game just feels a little odd right now. And you know what? I don't know what my main is right now. Like, I'm having an identity crisis with my main class. I've been jumping around and I can't figure out what I want to play. It's kind of interesting. And Jay, I mean, you have a new video out that just popped out, I think today or yesterday, you know, where you're looking for a new main, you know, like the options video.
That's just slander, propaganda.
So have you been playing mostly?
Having a laugh.
Have you been mostly playing Wizard, or like, are you still a Wizard main? Like, are you having fun with other classes? Do you think this hotfix and patch has changed shit up? What are your thoughts?
Jay plays Earth Wizard now, dude. He's a cleric main these days.
Yeah, I know. He's everything.
Yeah, I played Wizard for like 3 weeks straight, so I'm just like mixing it up, you know, playing other stuff. A lot of cleric, a lot of bard.
Yeah.
Well, that's like one of the flaws with the leaderboard system. Like, I'm not going to speak for Jay, but we kind of have similar like paths. Like, when you play leaderboards for 3, 4, or 5 weeks straight, and you're playing one class because that's what the leaderboard makes you do, you just get so tired of playing it. So when the leaderboards aren't there, you just want to play other shit. At least for me, I'm like, okay, leaderboards are over. I'm going to play these other classes because I just got done playing 1,000 matches of Wizard, and my brain hurts. Because when you're playing Wizard, like you're always on. You have to like 100% pay attention to everything, because if you get hit once, you die. And a lot of these other classes, barbarians, fighters, warlocks, they have a lot more room for error, and you can kind of just play them more casually and have more fun with the game. At least for me.
That makes sense. Yeah. Jay, one more question for you. You did very well, top of the leaderboards. You put in the hours. You were grinding hard. Was it worth it? Are you going to do it again? Do you regret it? What are your thoughts on that chase?
You kidding me? That was miserable.
Yeah, seemed like it.
I would do another one, but 2 weeks I think was a giant mistake.
Yeah.
2 weeks was like and not only that, getting literally turbo nerf on like the 4th day didn't really feel good. Like, why not turbo nerf it before so we don't waste our time? That's how
Yeah, that was probably very disappointing for you guys. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how. I didn't catch the first stream after it, but I'm sure Repose really felt the burn on that with Omega nerfs.
Oh, we were in shambles for a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the initial problem was that we were splitting kills, but we were so far ahead the first 4 days that it didn't matter. And then post nerf, it's like, okay, now that's the problem.
And then that barbarian just fucking snowballed, avalanched to the top.
Yeah, but the reigning meta comp didn't get touched, while every other comp did.
Well, they were hit by some of like the movement speed cap nerfs. Like, that hit them as well. But I think the biggest problem,
same speed as the bard.
Yeah,
so
I think the problem was the Tokyo servers. The Tokyo servers are full, and you're queuing up into empty servers, right? And like,
that's the other problem.
There aren't enough players for you to kill. It's like
that sucks. Yeah, that's actually shitty.
12 games in a row of 5 out of 18, and the other 2 were solo rogues just hitting some gold farm, and then you queue Tokyo, and it's like 3 Giga Chad teams, and then the rest are rogues. So it's like, at least it's full, and it queues pretty consistently. So.
Yeah, I caught some of the grind, and it was literally you guys just tracking down and murdering little Timmys and High Roller. That was your experience. And you guys were glazed over, like, ugh, give us something. But
Zing Zhao 371, dude, I'm running his ass down the entire match. he ain't looting on my watch.
That's hilarious. Nope. AA and So Bad, did you guys jump in on any of the leaderboard action? Or did you guys say fuck that and just norm it up?
Yeah, no shot.
yeah, I love leaderboarding. I do it every season, but I can't go as long as everybody else because I play all classes, so I get really bored if I just play one. And I initially started off on Cleric. I got to somewhere around 90 kills. I was like world rank 3 in solos. And then I just started playing other stuff. I started doing more permadeaths, more like class guides, whatever I could get my hands on. And then I really didn't even have to play it. It was like 5 or 6 days where I didn't play Cleric, and I still came out world rank 4. so the competition really wasn't that fierce for Cleric. And I mean, I enjoyed it, but I've been saying it since internal. Like, we can't just play, or I guess after that, when leaderboards came out, maybe PT 1 or 2. I don't want to play one class. It needs to be account bound, so that way I can swap around. I can play whatever. It tracks, your accounts rather than your class.
Yeah, it should definitely. You should still have the class specific boards, but then like the overall board should count all of your characters, in my opinion, because it feels bad, like feeling like you have to only play one class an entire wipe just to track your stats properly. It kind of puts you into a box, and it feels bad. And I know a lot of players don't like it either.
It'd be all right. Do you think the 2 weeks was the problem? Like on one
It's
week,
way
mainly
too
one
long.
class, is that okay?
I think there's a
feel like
lot
I'd be
wrong with.
fine.
I think
We-
leaderboards suck.
Well, like, we can do more than one per wipe, though. Like, if we do 2 leaderboards per wipe, I don't know. I also agree with Reddit in that I feel like there needs to be incentives. Like, the top 100 should get, I don't know, something.
Cosmetic.
Like a gold pouch bag at the start of the next wipe.
Yeah, something
Like,
like that. Man.
it's nothing crazy, but it's definitely something everybody would want.
What about a free auto plushie?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah, top 20 auto plush,
that.
and then
Something.
imagine
Yeah.
the end, like the last couple hours, all our stream titles. Gotta get that plushie.
I think leaderboards are just flawed. I think it's a.
Yeah.
I think it was a temporary system they put in place just to get like the sweaty chats out of normal games because we were stomping the Timmies, and like now it's just been here for X amount of playtests and now in early access, and it's kind of overstayed as welcome. They need to come out with some kind of new, up-to-date, better system. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I think high rollers, like, they even admitted that it was just like a band-aid thing that they were just using for now until they figured out a better system. But some sort of difficulty system, maybe similar to Diablo 2, I've talked about this before, would be kind of cool. But yeah, just having the high roller thing and then normals only, it's not going to work in the long run. But I see why they did it. But go ahead, Jay.
I look at leaderboards as like a lack of content, like placeholder, because there's really nothing to do but it gives start. And really, it's only targeting like maybe 100 players, like truly targeting. I guess more than that, like compete and stuff, but you're not gonna get like top 3 or anything, unless you're a select few players. But
Yeah, I mean, high rollers for like less than 0.5% of the player base right now. Let's be real here. It's pretty nuts. And it's a big feature, It's like it's a pretty front and center feature too, high roller. But like I just said, it's a work in progress. It's a placeholder thing. They're gonna figure it out. But yeah, high rollers.
Yeah, we need tickets, to be honest. That'd probably be the fairest. Everyone gets 100 tickets a season, and you choose when you use a ticket, and then you drop in on a ticket.
Just give everyone a
That'd be
free
cool,
high roller once an hour. I don't know. Think
That'd be
that
cool,
would work? Or like
That actually would be cool.
something like that. I don't know.
Actually, that's actually a really good idea. I haven't even thought about that.
Actually-
I've always said free high roller in general, but like just like having a free one every hour. It's like, oh, my free ticket to high rollers here. I guess I'm gonna go use it or lose it. That'll
Yeah,
get in there.
exactly.
that actually is a really good idea.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I liked when they were free though, because it brought everyone in. Like, every lobby was full. They were insta-filling, and to me, it didn't matter if they were just Timmies, because by the end of the round at Final Circle, their inventories were full of bangles or whatever, and so it felt good killing them because you could still get a ton of loot from it.
And
That's
you
what I
think.
was-
Sorry, yeah.
I was just saying, that's what I was saying is when it was free, at least there was like diversity, right? Because like they might have been base kit 3-mans, but it's still better than 12 rogues.
Yeah, well, when it was free, right? It was only free for like what 4 or 5, 6 days, like not a long time.
Something like that.
So I feel like if you had it free for an entire season, people would start coming in geared. I feel like a lot of people were like, okay, high roller's free. I'm gonna go learn these maps because I've never played them before. So I'm going in naked while I learn, and there's like going to be a grace period where most of the people going in are naked, just learning. But over time, people would learn the maps, get more confident going with gear. I just think we didn't have a large enough sample size. I don't think whatever statistics they got off of that test probably wasn't accurate because people were still learning. It's my opinion.
So, fellas, I mean, overall, let's go around the room here, the digital room. What do you guys think of, 1, the big EA patch that dropped, and then I guess 2, the hotfix that came shortly after? Arcane, what do you think, man?
I am probably going to have a slightly different opinion than the rest of you guys, and I know a lot of the community is very unhappy with the hotfix after the patch. My initial reaction was more or less the same as Ken's, because we were actually on episode 7 of Hold the Line last Wednesday when that hotfix dropped, and people in the chat, I thought were trolling at the time when they were saying they brought +3 back, and what is it, up to +5 weapon damage? I think at this point you can get. Is that the max? I mean, the rolls that you can get on these items are insane.
It's crazy.
But so my initial reaction was the same as Ken's. Like, no, that's way too much. It makes no sense based on what they've said they wanted to do, and just 2 days ago you took it the exact opposite direction. But I've actually had a pretty decent time, and I think the primary reason, one, I'm not playing at the upper echelons because of what do you call it? Oh, skill issue. But two, it's so easy to re-gear now. Like the idea of getting, I don't get pissed off when I lose. If I lose a nice set, I feel like my next nice set is 2 games away, right? Maybe 3 tops, because of the way the vendors are stocked now. Because you can, in a decent green set, I mean, you can pick up +1, +2 all on green gear and craft a halfway decent kit for like 300 or 400 gold. And you could go in and, in the right situation, especially if you can third party, you could pick up a nice set off of another team simply by winning 1 or 2 rounds. So yeah, I would imagine that at the highest levels where everyone is wearing +3 on every single piece of gear, that is obviously an issue. But from where I'm standing, most of it has been actually pretty good, and I've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad to hear that. And you know, you were talking about how it's easy to get a new kit for just a few hundred gold. It's not so bad with the vendor changes. True. One thing that's happened because of that is the player-driven economy. Trade is just crazy now. Everything is super cheap.
Everything's 50 gold. Like,
Yeah.
everything I saw in there is 50 gold, unless it's an obvious god roll.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Ken, you were about to say something, so why don't you answer the questions and give us your thoughts?
I was gonna say I definitely agree. I love, like, the vendor changes and the crafting changes are probably my 2 favorite things. Like,
Yes.
just being, like, sure, I love buying all this gear and stuff and getting reduced super easily, but I'm happy that everybody else is getting gear, because that means when you queue up for games, everybody you fight is geared, or like at least have something on. So you're fighting geared players all the time, and it feels much better. And you feel less bad for killing people and taking their gear, because you know they're going to get more for pretty cheap. It's overall better for the game health. People don't have to spend an hour in that miserable trade chat buying gear sets now, because they can just go to the vendors and get something decent. And the crafting, like, obviously it's still very raw, but it's a great start. I love now that I have incentive to go to Ruins, go to Goblin Cave, go to all these other maps and farm these cool materials, go down to Hell because I have to go farm these stupid ass centaur tails. But it's making me do things I wouldn't normally do.
Something to do.
Yeah, it gives me a direction to go, and like that's what questing should be in the future. Just gives you something to do, a direction to go in while you're playing. Because the overall gameplay loop for Dark and Darker is very fun. The combat's great, the matchmaking is great. It's just like you just have to have something to do on top of that, and we're definitely getting it started.
Do you think that because it's so much easier to get gear from vendors and to craft it, which crafting's kind of expensive, but it's possible with enough runs and collecting shit, but do you think that it diminishes looting in game? Do you think players just want to hunt down, and this is a question for any of you, do you think people just want to go hunt down players and take their merchant gear that they just bought, or are people still looting the same? Or do you, I mean, I know there's new metas now, like on Ruins, you just got to go for royal chest runs or royal coffin runs now, right? Like the game has changed a bit where people just run for certain things or run after players. Do you think that's a problem? Do you think people still loot the same, or what do you guys think?
Well, I think I've always been running down players. I think running down players has never been not the move. But I do agree, like the royal chests are sick, but I think those are creating hotspots, and hotspots in games are usually good. Points of conflict,
I agree.
Royal chest, gold spawns, the centaurs, the bosses. These are all like heavily contested areas, and I'm excited to like run to them because I know either I'm gonna get that sweet loot from the chest or fight for it, which is even better. So I think it's great.
Yeah, and the player gear situation I think is really good, if not better than ever, because of how fast it is to re-gear for merchants. I think people are dropping into the matches way quicker. And then I used to look at people's gear way more, but now I feel like you rip jewelry and then you only look for +2 all, or like maybe +2 magical healing. You know, whatever the case is, it's way easier to scan people's gear and then take what you need. And I like that system. It's like faster, it's funner. Like Ken said, especially on Ruins, there's the coffins are in 2 different spots. and then the gold ore is kind of in like a little bit of a circle, and so there are like 2 to 3 really high tension hotspots, and I think that's really good for that map. And then with the way Crypts works, I think at the end it's like a little too crazy, especially HR. Like almost all the teams just come from like a corner in that last circle, and then you have no time to loot. It's like insane third partying.
Game's too short.
It's too
Games are
short
just too-
and Crypt
yeah.
now that it's 25% bigger, and there's 3 royal coffins, and all the sub bosses are worth looting. Like that part didn't quite work, but I love
wish
the
maps were all
combination of
bigger,
Goblin.
dude. I wish all the maps were bigger. Do you guys wish the maps were bigger?
Bigger?
Bigger.
I think they're
I think
good.
a high rolling map is massive, to be
It's
honest.
huge, man.
I wish
I don't
the maps
mind.
were bigger.
I don't mind them being bigger. The problem is like if you want these maps to be bigger and you want to slow down gameplay, you have to give us more time, right? You can't just make giant maps full of hard mobs and HR
Agreed.
and give us 13 minutes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And like on top of it, you're gonna add quests and crafting and things to do on top of it in the
It's
future.
gotta be longer.
It's a little crazy. Like remember
Totally
last
agree.
season when HR was 9 minutes? That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
that was
right.
bad. That was really bad. I do wish the maps were slightly bigger with slightly more time. Yeah, I think it'd be cool.
Kill the 2 skellies you spawn in the room of, and what do you know? The zone's collapsing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was insane.
It is still a little bit too quick, but yeah. Yeah, someone in chat said 20 minutes. Seems about right. I think that's
Hell.
15 to 20.
I say you start with
15,
15, but
15
we
for
can
sure.
split it
Well,
there.
hold on. It depends on the map. Hold on. Maybe like 15 for crypts and going down to hell and stuff. But on a goblin caves or like ruins, I don't think you need 20 minutes, right? It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yeah.
map dependent. Definitely
Ruins
map
is
dependent.
perfect right now, I think. I've been
Ruins
playing it quite a
pacing is
lot.
great.
It's really good pacing. And there's enough portals where you can escape early if you want to, but most people don't want to. And the portals are spread across 3 different modules, so like there's always a pretty good chance that you can get out if you're like one of the last 3 teams.
Yeah, I've liked portals recently, with the exception of some of the portal spawns in hell are kind of scuffed. Sometimes you get like a really unlucky
All over
circle.
the place.
Yeah, all over the place. You get like 2 portals in one room, 1 in the other, 2 that you can't find. And sure, there's lots of portals, but they're just like sometimes in very scuffed locations. And sometimes you go down to hell with no other teams, kill the boss, have 5 minutes to clear, and still can't get out. And that's crazy to me.
Yeah, on Crypts, I was in a final circle. Every single portal popped in the pyramid room, every portal. And 2 of the blues were actually touching each other. They were like on each other. And every fucking portal was right there in the room. It was a fuck fest trying to fight for portals. But it was fun. It was kind of nice.
I've been saying for a while, sorry to cut you off, but in hell, like, you know, when you hit the gold pile 10 times and it slowly goes away, if under the gold pile after you get rid of it, if there was a trap door that was a guaranteed exit, that'd be sweet. Kill boss, you just spend 2 minutes on the gold pile. There's plenty of time for another third party to jump you while you're doing it, but if you hit all 10 hits on the gold pile, boom, extract.
That's actually kind of cool.
I don't know, man. Like I feel like you don't have to hit all 10. Like the main thing that kills us is greed, and so we cannot hit 10 and leave. The thing is, we hit 10 and then we go clear, and then we don't have time and someone dies. It's like that's on us. And I
That's
kinda
the
like that.
issue. You have to
Yeah, it
really be
really is
smart about
greed.
clearing. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was in a God kit, barb kit, I think last night, and we killed the Ghost Gang, you know, cleared out hell. We're dicking around, and suddenly we realize we have to go clear out a room to get portals. And there's like 90 fucking seconds left, and like a centaur and a berserker and fucking gas farters, and we ended up getting 2 portals, but I ended up not being able to find a third and died and lost my juice.
Greed
It
is
felt
good.
bad, and it was greed. It was pure greed.
Yeah, the dungeon giveth.
It really does. I mean, so bad. You're a goblin boy. You love the goblin caves. What do you think of the new pace of goblin caves in terms of only 7 people and 7 extracts? Obviously, 1 is static, and then there's 6 portals.
Yeah, so I really like it. I think it's still a little too hard, especially for newer players. People typically see a solo map, and they think it's going to be the easiest. I think PvE-wise, it's the hardest of the 3, and then PvP-wise, Ruins is the hardest. But I like it. I think you should always have a chance to escape, especially because typically, I think it's probably 0% of the time that every player gets out. I think mostly it's 2 or 3 that can get out, and if you want the PvP, you're going to find it. If you're at the middle module, you can always hear people in every other box, and you just choose a direction and go. And so I really like it. I think it's safe and fair, and there's less third partying happening there than there used to be.
Yeah, Goblin Caves is pretty fucking easy now. If you want a guaranteed come up on some gold, just do a couple of GCs, and you might see one player. You're probably going to see a fucking Warlock or a Ranger or a Rogue.
For
Let's
sure, a
be real.
Warlock now.
It's going to be one of those 3 classes. And then like the dumb Grug Barb who's like, please don't fucking kite me to death as he looks around and tries to escape. Jay, what do you think about massive EA patch drop in, the hotfix a couple days later or a day later? I can't remember. What are your thoughts overall?
I like both, honestly. And I also had the shock. I was like, why are they making the damage so much? But it seems like the TTK is much higher, which is nice. That was like the big concern is we're going to go back to one-shot meta, but I feel like it's fine.
Yeah.
Honestly.
It feels fine right now. I'm just worried once people get all this like best and slot gear, because it actually is very easy to get.
Sure.
I think we're there yet, but once people do get it, it might be like that. But maybe not, because it's like you have 70% PDR barbarians and fighters riding around and clerics, so
Yeah.
it might be higher or lower time to kill. But I'm still worried. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm still worried.
I mean, I'm seeing
I think
people
the
with purples and oranges and yellow items in sub 15 ruins at this point. Like there's
That's
juice
crazy.
everywhere. There's juice everywhere now. Normals are very, very juicy. I'm overall not a fan of the stat change, the reversion where they went back. I think they need to find a middle ground, and I really think it'd be smart if they removed some of the damage stat fluff, like plus physical power and shit like that. Ditch that crap and instead add in plus % damage to undead or plus % damage to demons, stuff like that. So you don't continuously get god stats that will end a player faster. You'll level that out a little bit, even it out, the PvP side, but you can still get better at PvE monsters. I was talking with Repose about it, and he kind of likes it too, but I just thought of it the other day, and I think it could work. But I don't know. It's just conjecture and I'm just bullshitting. But what do you guys think about that? Like, removing...
Could we get like a % damage bonus to barbarian stat? Because I'm in for that.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Class specific would be cool, actually.
I'm not sure.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I don't know. I think. Yeah. I mean, there's several damage stats, right? There's like magical power plus true plus. There's a bunch of different damage stats. Just I don't know. Remove some of those stats from certain items and add in some like plus damage to PvE stuff. Therefore, you feel like you're still more. You can still dump on a player, but you also feel like you're more powerful against a skeleton. So when you're a god with an orange fucking sword and you're cleaving people in half in like 2 hits, but you're still fucking fighting a black skeleton for an hour and getting your ass kicked, feels kind of weird. I think if you're some god with like a full gore on or like a bunch of like good gear on, and you're still struggling against a fucking axeman and HR hell, it's a little weird when you can just like kill another god player super fast. So I think it'd be kind of cool if they would consider that, but who knows what they're gonna do. But I think it'd be nice to feel more powerful in PvE.
The only problem I think of that is that would just increase the amount of quote unquote dead rolls on like super sick items for PvP. Sometimes you're a PvP player and you just want like stats that are good at PvP, but now all of a sudden you're adding 5, 6, 7 different rolls that are for you dead stats, but for other players are good stats. So.
But I disagree though. I think
I disagree too.
I think that if you add a plus damage to undead or demons on anything, it's good for everyone because you pretty much cannot get out of PvE when you go into a match. You're going to fight something eventually. So if you got rid of like plus magical power and plus physical power stat and just replace that with plus undead damage or plus demon damage, I think it would be helpful for every player, and it would stop rolling over people with god kits. It would level things out a little bit slower with PvP, a little bit better with PvE. But I don't know.
I think it's okay to dilute it just a tiny bit more. The rules, possibly.
Yeah.
But I also do like plus magical power and plus physical power. I kind of like what they're doing. Like magical power and physical power are like the least valuable damage stats, so those are the ones that could roll +5. Then like plus weapon damage and plus magical damage are like the second best, and those could roll +4. And then you can get like +2 all attributes. So like I see what they're going for. They want like the less powerful stats to roll the highest, and they're trying to tier it. So I see like what they're going for. I think it's okay. I think it's a little off. I think weapon damage and magical damage are still a little too high. I think those should be +3 at max. But for the first time ever, I'm like, our magical power is not bad if I can get a +5 roll. Because usually that's like my least favorite stat, but now I'm like, okay, if it gets +5, it's worth it. So I think what they're going for is good. I think it needs some more tweaking, but they're working on it.
Right.
And I like the idea of the PvE stuff. So I always reference a game called Darkfall Online, which is a very old MMO that I used to play. Did you play Darkfall?
I didn't play it, but I know all about it. Yeah.
So that game had like what you're saying, these like undead slaying or like golem slaying or dwarf slaying like stats, but they were enchantments. You would find a piece of gear, and then you would choose whatever enchantment you want to put on it, and you could choose to put undead slaying on it, or choose to put golem slaying, or choose to put elf slaying on it. And I feel like if you want something like that, maybe you could do that, like an enchanting system. I'm not sure if that would fit in the game. I think we're kind of going towards crafting in general, so I would love to see blacksmithing, skinning, mining, enchanting, things like that, things so people could tailor their gear specifically for what their goals are. If you want to go in and you want to slay bosses as fast as possible, you should be able to enchant your gear with undead slaying. If you want to go in there with a +3 mining pickaxe, I want to enchant my pickaxe with mining. Maybe I'm just fucking ranting here.
No, I get that.
Tales,
No, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I agree. Plus, they already said they want to add socketing, or they said something along those lines. So this game would totally work with that. You just find jewels on bats, or what have you, and then you craft them into like a demon slaying gem, and you can put it in your gear.
So that would be sweet.
Yeah, I like that idea, Soma.
Crafting,
So does my chat.
How much crafting have you guys done? What's the best thing you've crafted so far?
0.
Oh, I got like a crazy good. I'm crafting like the demon hide, demon clad set, the plus healing stuff. Cause I'm playing a lot of Warlock. I got like a +3 strength, +2 healing, +1 all attributes, +2 magic damage pair of gloves, and I'm like, oh, this is the best pair of gloves ever. So that's why I'm like, let me buy your tails, because I'm all in on the demon clad gear. The gear's amazing.
Yeah, it's really crap.
I really wish they had a craftable arming sword with plus magic damage on it, so you could run like a magic damage fighter if you wanted to. That'd be so cool. Just call it magic sword. You know, you don't have to give it a crazy name. Just plus.
Well,
plus
the
one
long
magic
sword.
damage.
The longsword has +1 magic damage on it. The void blade.
Yes, that is true. I'm just hoping for a one-hander.
I get you.
Yeah, one-hander.
Does the rapier have magic damage?
I don't think so.
Yes, rapier does have
Demon's
Glee. Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
only
okay.
one, though.
Master baby.
It's literally 1 damage. You don't even notice that shit.
Yeah.
No, come on, Jay. Not everybody doesn't notice 1 damage.
Hey, by the way,
Look
did
at
the void blade work? Like, I think Apollo crafted it. He made a video. He crafted it. He tried to use it, and he didn't see like magic damage numbers popping off on the dummy. Do you guys know if it worked?
If you have magic damage on a weapon and you hit the dummy, but you don't have a magical attack associated with it, it won't come up with like a purple damage. You have to have a magical attack to trigger the damage. So like you have to have like Blow of Corruption or like.
Well, Crystal Sword's not like that. Crystal Sword.
Yeah, same with the magic staff. You just bonk someone as magic. Yeah.
Are you sure? When you're saying with the magic staff, if you hit the dummy, it shows white and purple numbers.
Well, not the staff, but the sword, the crystal sword.
Does, yeah.
Crystal sword, definitely 100% does. Yeah.
It's interesting. I feel like some of them only add the magic damage to the magical attack or a spell, rather than just like when you bonk something.
No, you're right. It's a little finicky.
It's a little finicky. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
Dark and Darker does a good job of kind of keeping us in the dark in certain things. Maybe it's not a good thing, but I kind of like when people ask about luck, and SDF was like, "You guys can just figure it out." You know, like I don't know, like some things can be a mystery.
Yeah, that's fun. I'm still finding rooms that I've never seen before, like random trapdoors. I'm like, I played this game for a year straight, and I just now found this lever. And that's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Actually, I think you're right, because this has magical damage on it on the Void Blade, and Crystal Sword is magical weapon damage.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that just adds. It's basically like, spellbook damage and stuff. So it goes on your spells. That's weird.
See?
Okay.
So some of them it'd be better for a Warlock. That's a
and
Void
Demons
Blade
has
Warlock.
1 additional. So like, what's the point now? Actually.
If you're running, demons.
Poison,
if you're running
Poison.
a poison weapon rapier on your rogue.
Also, the Warlock Eldritch Shield absorbs poison, right? Because that's magical damage.
Yep.
Oh man, that
thing is a nerf,
spell
man.
is so good.
We just gonna dive into Warlock, because man, Warlock is insane.
Warlock's so good.
Let's talk Warlock for a second,
talk about
man.
Warlock.
It's fucking fun. I'm not amazing at it, but I do enjoy Hydra quite a bit. Phantomize Flamewalker's cool. It's feeling like it's getting to a really good spot. It still says work in progress. There's still more to come with it. But I mean, Arcane, have you jumped on the Warlock?
I have. I've
What do you think?
enjoyed it immensely. It's been great. Yeah, I'm digging it. I haven't run a lot of the dark magic stuff. I never got to the point where I had like a really good kit. So this is terrible that I don't know this, but can you even run 10 spell on a Warlock? I've never gone over 5.
No, you can't. You
No,
can't.
no, it's 5.
Just 5.
Okay.
But it's good, and
Yeah.
I think it should stay that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I ran Curse of Pain, Sacrifice, and Hydra with the Dark Bolt as my backup. So if I picked up some knowledge while I was in the dungeon, that was just my default if I'm running a base kit setup. And it felt good just with those 3 spells. It felt like you could accomplish quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's strong.
That with blow of corruption, if you got a book and a longsword, man, like yeah, it feels really, really good.
I'm seeing Warlocks not even use a melee weapon anymore. They just use their spell book.
Nope.
They're only casting spells and kiting. You don't even need a weapon anymore. Just Phantomize and the right spells. Yeah, Bolt of Darkness is incredibly satisfying to use. But I think the sleeper spell is Eldritch Shield. I mean, you can shield your entire team in the Ghost King fight, and just like it negates the screams and shit. You can
Not even sleep. So good. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
so good.
use
It's
Eldritch-
Eldritch
It's
spell.
It's getting nerfed, let's be honest.
Eldritch,
That's getting nerfed.
Eldritch Shield, Power of Sacrifice, and a Barber, a fighter. Suddenly, a fighter can eat a fireball. That's huge.
Yeah, I was playing with
It's dropped
Jay.
to 20.
Yeah, I was playing with
That's
Jay
20,
yesterday.
for
and
sure.
I Eldritch Shielded our entire team, and we just got hit by a chain lightning, and normally we would just all be dead. We would literally all just be on the ground restarting the game, but we were just all alive and almost full HP. And I'm like,
I
this
took
is
5% damage.
yeah, this is insane.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's
Goodbye,
it's
wizard.
good. Yeah, it's Warlock is fucking crazy now. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been soloing bosses nonstop on my Hydromancer build. It's easy, even gearless, as long as you get like 2 or 3 knowledge, because the Hydra blocks everything. It blocks
Yeah.
spells.
So
it
what's
blocks
your
players.
setup for bossing? So
For bossing, especially solo, I take Curse of Pain, Curse of Sacrifice, Hellfire, and Hydra, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Right? You drink like each monster. You drink the boss. You Hydra block the Lich, Hellfire everything, and you just rotate in a circle. Like you're constantly at full health. Even at, I think 4 is like the minimum you need for magical healing, but 6 is already like the upper reaches. If you're at 6, 7, or 8, you get all like 90% of your health back after the purple thing
Instantly.
explodes
Yeah.
instantly. And someone, I don't know if this is true yet, but somebody said if you summon the Hydra next to you, the purple aura from Lich, it only does half damage. Is this there's 2 players?
What?
So like it's counting. I don't know if this is true
Probably.
yet, but if that is true, then that's really broken.
Wow.
But like the fact that he blocks the Lich one-shot orb alone is already really powerful.
Wow.
good.
It was already
Yeah.
easy to solo the Lich anyway, and now it's just must be fucking
It's,
trivial.
it's crazy, man. I did permadeath 1
Wow.
to 15. I killed Lich 3 times on the way. I was like fully juiced at 15. I had just a full stash.
Are you able to do HR solos with the enraged mobs? On
I'm
Lich?
sure you could, but I haven't tried it yet.
That seems like
Yeah,
you
you can
could.
do it.
You
just have
definitely
like
know
the
what you
Hellfire
can.
lineups on the Rangers, and you'll be good.
Probably the Bats on Ghost King would be a bit tough, but if you get a Hellfire out when he's about to jump, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to try. I'll get there.
So
And
so do we think Warlock is like busted?
it's
Obviously
nerfs,
very
nerfs
good.
incoming.
Very good in PvE, but like in PvP, do we think it's like Giga busted? Does it need like huge nerfs? What do we think?
Dude, I think it's incredibly strong. If you just keep
really
kiting,
strong.
you don't even need the fucking Bolt of Darkness. You just keep Curse of Painting, and when they get close, you Hydra at your feet and run. You just do that over and over and over again.
I think the problematic things for Warlock is in PvP anyway is Elder Shield. Too much. It's too big of a shield. It has to
big.
be
Yeah.
cut it by 10, 15, whatever the number is, but it has to be cut down. And I think just being able to spam Hydras is the problem. I think Hydras isn't a problem on its own, but just being able to spam it every 5 seconds, that's a problem. So I know
Yeah.
they're like very anti-cooldown in this game, which is weird. But I think Hydra needs a cooldown.
Are you saying
Well,
you're not
yeah.
going to take the perk that gives you a second Hydra? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm
I
just
think
Oh my
they
joking.
God.
If you can't suck the
Imagine.
Hydra, then it's then Hydra spam stops. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, stop
can't
being able
suck
to
Hydra-
curse your
yeah.
own. Yeah, quit being able to curse and heal after your own Hydra. I think that's a big
It's
mistake.
also it'd be really
the-
hard to use that in PvP at that point as well.
The meta is if you're playing against another Warlock, if it's a Warlock mirror and they cast their Hydra, you Eldritch Shield their Hydra so they can't suck it.
Oh.
And that's
Mhm.
that's a hidden tech, you know.
Okay.
Comes
Why
free.
would you say that?
Because like I'm trying to save the people, right?
Mhm.
But Warlock v Warlock mirrors are miserable. Let's be honest.
They're really high tech, but they're pretty toxic.
Definitely a cool class, and it's still a work in
Mhm.
progress. There's more to come. I mean, any thoughts or ideas on what they could add to the kit?
I've been saying for a while. I've said I think I might have said it on your podcast, said it on ours. I wish they had a revive, but like a temporary revive where you could revive a fallen teammate, but they come back as an undead for like 3 minutes and they die again.
Can't take
It's
a
like a-
blue. Yeah.
Can't take a blue, yeah, just like temporary revive.
What's that dude's name from League?
Yorick ult.
No. That when he dies, he comes back and he's got like 10 seconds.
Which one? Aatrox?
Scion.
Scion.
Oh, yeah, Scion.
Just give him
yeah,
give him like a Scion, like 1 minute.
That'd
they
be cool,
burn health,
too.
You know.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
I love using Scion in teamfight tactics. Do you guys play TFT at all?
Not in
No.
a couple seasons, but I have played it.
Yeah, he's a pretty good bruiser right now. He's like a 5-star level champ, and once he dies, he comes back to life and like sprints to the back line or something like that, and it's pretty good.
Oh, that's a cool idea. Karthus on Warlock, like a perk. You die, you got like 10 seconds to rattle off before you're gone.
There you go. That's a cool
Damn.
idea.
Yeah, 10
That-
seconds.
That's
Throw
great.
out
better
a
than
couple
life after
Hydras, couple
death.
pains. Yeah,
Mhm.
true.
What do you drop for that? Get rid of malice, 10% extra will. Throw
Sure.
in
No,
10
You'll
seconds.
make room for it. Well, actually, Warlocks don't die. What are we talking about here?
Yeah,
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 sure.
exactly.
After death
Yeah,
perk.
yeah.
I like my Chad said, make it a perk to use Hydra. It's smart, like they did with rogues and hand crossies. Hydromancy, it's now a perk.
To take
Or
a
should
perk,
it-
to take
maybe-
a perk
maybe
to
just
use
summons.
a spell would suck.
Well, maybe a
Yeah.
perk just for summons, and so when they add more
Yeah,
summons,
okay.
like
Yeah.
Hydra, any other summons in the future, just summon mastery. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I create a whole subclass.
All right, so we all kind of agree that Warlock's pretty fucking cool, pretty strong.
Yep.
It's fun to solo bosses.
Yeah.
But Arcane, my fellow maestro, as a Bard player, I like Bard and Barb, a couple of other classes, but Bard's quite fun. Dude, are you feeling the changes to Bard or what with knowledge and spell memory?
I think they're completely fair, and Jay definitely has more Bard hours than I do at this point. But I think the Bard is perfect where he's at, near perfect. I don't want to say perfect, near
That
perfect.
shit's
where
OP.
he's at. He's still great.
Bard is
Still
good.
fantastic. I think you should have to have a little bit of gear to get to your second spell wheel. But even
Yep.
just playing one wheel, it feels good every time I go in with a base kit and one wheel. I get to choose what I'm trying to accomplish, like how I'm setting that up. Every time I actually have to give it some thought. I can't just mindlessly click next raid, right? I can't click go every time. It's going to depend on what I'm trying to accomplish, who I'm playing with, what map I'm playing. I dig it. I'm absolutely loving it still.
Yeah, I think it was a fair and correct move to
Oh, yeah.
these changes. I personally think Bard's still fun. I wish that there was other viable skills beyond like I tried the skill where you get your song played perfectly. I thought it was going to be like an instant, like you play the song instantly. It slowly plays the whole fucking song perfectly while you just stand there and wait. Not
Well,
great.
Encore
Not
sucks.
great.
It's
Yeah.
it's awful. Yeah, we definitely need better skills. Yeah, Encore.
The
is
silence
garbage.
though, when you have just like a barbarian running next to you,
Dissonance is good.
you fucking run
Dissonance
in,
is
hit
good.
dissonance. Like I run 5-song bar with dissonance right now and a rapier, the rapier build. And I just play Allegro, Accelerando, Rousing Rhythms, so the 3 like main drum songs. And then I bring in Harmonic, the shield song. And then I bring on the weakening song. What's it called? Not is it
Weakness.
is it-
Shriek of Weakness?
Shriek of Weakness? Yeah, Shriek of Weakness. And I hit that as soon as I weaken them. I hit the silence, and we just go to town. It is pretty fucking satisfying, but it does suck missing out on those 5 other songs. It feels very powerful having 10 songs. But
I've found that I don't miss any of the loot songs really. Like Alacrity is the only one I ever take.
they nerfed it. They
Aria
cut it in half.
Alacrity
It
is-
went from 15 to 8%.
I know.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It doesn't feel that bad if I have to leave it. Right, 8% is not that big a deal.
I don't ever
I
use
heard
the
it was
loot.
broken. I
What do
heard
you
it was
mean?
giving 20% right now.
Really.
Yeah, I
Shit.
permanently run it, and it's crazy.
Jesus Christ. Okay, well that sounds
Wow.
cool.
Yeah, Bard
They're
was
gonna
hit with
fix
some of
that,
the. Yeah, Bard was hit with some of
Yeah.
the hardest nerfs last playtest, and they didn't really change much. But I feel like they benefited the most. Well, maybe not the most, but like maybe the most from the gear changes. Bards just
Yes.
scale so well with good gear that even though their spells and kit wasn't buffed in any way, they're benefiting very hard from plus all getting and
Yeah.
their base gear now has like resourcefulness and knowledge on it. So like they definitely got a huge like
Hmm.
side buff, like unintentional buff. And I think they're in a very good spot. They're very, very strong. I'm happy
Yeah, I
they're
think they're
viable
good.
again. Yeah.
You know,
If
Tabnito.
anything's questionable, it's maybe the crossbow. I'm still not necessarily the biggest fan of it.
You mean like crossbow one shotting?
Well, crossbow on bard because they just hit hard as fuck.
Yeah,
I think it's like
gear.
crossbow issue. I don't think it's like a bard issue. I think crossbow
it's
is
in
just
general. It hits like
in
a truck.
general, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good weapon.
Fighters, rangers, yeah.
It's a damn
Anybody
good
with a
weapon.
wizard with a crossbow.
Like, get rid of the crossbow on bard, force on the survival bow. I think would be okay.
That'd be cool too.
personally.
It wouldn't be the worst change ever. But Tabnito
Yeah.
just had a good point. He says it scales with persuasion. That's why Alacrity is able to bust out 20% instead of 8%, which the tooltip says. So that new persuasion stat is actually buffing the song. Interesting.
Maybe yeah.
That's actually really cool. Oh, it's only for duration. Oh fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
persuasion's duration. Yeah, I don't
Okay,
know if
then
that's
what
accurate.
could buff the 8 to the Alacrity song then?
Nothing. It's just wrong.
Could be Will.
Oh, okay, it's just wrong. Okay.
If they
Yeah,
consider
fine, fine.
Bard songs as magic, and then Will could be buffing them.
I have like 8 will on my bard set right now, and still, I think it's 20. It's
Well,
way
if it's
super
supposed to be
noticeable.
20, I am slapping that bitch right back on because that's amazing. Especially with a good rapier and Allegro and the rapier perk. It's insane. You're You're
What
way
about,
faster than a rogue.
What about talking about the new wizard spells in the map leak? You guys see
Mhm.
this stuff?
Whoa, what?
Yeah, the
What? What?
Q&A.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. I was gonna bring up
Yeah,
the
lay-
Q&A.
lay it on
kids,
us, Shay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't get
So-
to dig into the Q&A too much, Jay. So lead the ship here. Tell us about it.
Oh shit! I closed my notepad, but new race in October, hopefully.
The Lizard Man.
Yeah, the lizard
Yeah.
man is what they're thinking
Yeah.
of running.
Crazy that we're getting lizards before dwarfs, by the way. It's crazy to me.
Listen.
Agreed.
Nope.
Sorry.
We don't need dwarves. We're
The
gonna go
dwarves
through a
are
whole
extinct.
balancing crisis again as soon as them dwarves get added.
Oh man.
I came up on
Wizard-
EverQuest, so I love the lizard race. I love the idea of lizard
There you
men
go.
and like little tails.
Wizard's gonna get magic lock and explosion, and I got baited by googling explosion 5e. It was like uses our
Oh,
spell
no.
slots, and
Mhm.
it makes like a giant landmine that blows up mountains. I was getting pretty hyped for a second, but apparently that's homebrew.
Hmm.
Feels bad. But magic lock will be what, like forcing doors shut, and you can't open them, right?
Yeah,
Gates
you
and
need
stuff like
need
that,
a rogue or a bard to play the song, or you'd need a lockpick. Yeah.
Barbarian.
Really?
or a barbarian to
Imagine
break it.
imagine
Yeah.
or a barbarian to break it. Imagine
hope not.
splitting a team, locking the door, and there's already like fun plays where you close a door and you split a team and
Mhm.
they quickly run over and open the door, or you fireball it. But it's so fucking exciting to think about the plays you could do when you actually just lock a door and they're hard split.
You say fun, I say absolutely toxic and griefing the game. I think
Yes, but I mean it's both. It's both. Yeah. Yeah. Fun
I hope that
toxicity.
barbs can't break it though. That's kind of. That's
I
another
already
Barbs
buff
can't
right
break
there.
it? They can't? You
I
said-
hope they can't.
Oh,
You're gonna
okay.
break a magical door? I hope not. Please God.
It's just magically locked, but it's still made of wood.
Nothing
Yeah,
pisses
please,
me off
exactly.
more in this game than a rogue just shutting doors in my face while I try and chase them. And now these fucking degenerate wizard players are just gonna be locking them, and I'm just gonna be stuck outside in the zone, dying to burn because I'm getting griefed by these
God,
wizards.
I didn't even think about that. Locking someone with the dark swarm.
Mhm. And then clarity
Oh my
potions, you just keep walking it
God.
over and
Guys,
over.
I
Oh,
have my concerns. I have my concerns. Okay.
All right,
Hope-
all right.
hope-
I
mean,
didn't
it's
think this
sweet.
through. I did not think this through. When you put it like that, see, you're using your wizard brain. I'm a dumb grug and I play the lute. You know, like I'm not a fucking sage like you. I didn't think about that. That
They
sounds
gotta add an
terrible.
asterisk. Yep. Cannot be used in the Dark Swarm. Needs to be the
Yeah.
asterisk on that spell.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
What if it's a silence and not a door lock, like a magic lock, and you just lock them from casting for like 3 seconds?
I think silences are
Yeah.
also very toxic. I think anything that turns off someone's entire kit in a video game where people want to have fun is miserable. Sure, bards are very strong. Silence got nerfed, but like when silence was good, nothing felt worse in this game in the world than just getting silenced and being there. Just like, oh, all right, well,
You know what's
I-
worse than silence is cutthroat when you can't even use a skill.
yeah. Oh man,
That's fucking nuts. I was on ruins earlier as a rogue with cutthroat, and it was so fun to hit a wizard and see them not be able to haste or invis away and just stand there and fucking get stabbed to death. It felt pretty good.
Yep.
And then you just
for one
died to
reason.
everything else though. So
Yeah.
yeah, cutthroat is
rogue
quite
things.
good. Yeah,
you
I
gotta
think,
be careful with silences. That's all I'm saying. Silences and like peacemaking, those kind of abilities, earthquake, like these abilities that just turn off entire kits. You got to be pretty careful implementing them.
Yeah,
Because
the
they can
true
be very toxic.
cancer rogue build: rupture, poison weapon, cutthroat, hand crossbow, double jump, and just don't even fuck hiding. Just fucking kite and shoot them, and don't let them use their own
You're
skills.
playing Quake, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But who needs hide on ruins anyway? Everything's a shadow. Everything's rubble.
Mhm.
I was just crawling around that map with, when you hold shift, you walk. I don't know if you guys. It took me like a year to figure that out. But now I just crouch and then I hold shift, and you just slowly creep around. Makes barely any noise. It's really nice.
Yep.
Yeah, unheard of. Like unappreciated is the buffs to crouch walking and like the
Yeah,
silence.
good.
It's great. Yeah,
It's really good.
Want to hear something
able
that's
to
gonna
get
make
pretty
you guys
sneaky.
all want to vomit?
sure.
Shift key for me is whipping out weapon slot 1.
You're
Gross.
disgusting.
What?
Oh.
Weapon
I
slot
mean-
2. Weapon slot 2. Scroll wheel up.
You're just so gross.
You also have a ball roller mouse too. Like, what's going on here?
I got the scare right here.
You're playing a DDR pad.
Wait, why not weapon set 1 up and weapon set 2 down?
Yeah, I wanna
on the
know that
scroll
as
wheel?
well.
That makes too much sense, man. You can't now.
Because whenever I'm running something with a spell book and a spell wheel, that's on middle mouse button, and my go-to DPS spell is always at the top part of the wheel, so I can scroll up and click at the same time and instantly be on my spell and then cast.
I think I gotta go.
Is this controller gameplay? What are we talking about? You lost me.
I know I'm weird as fuck, man. I always change my hotkeys immediately. Like my consume like utility slot 4 is the thumb button. My other skill is E. I don't know. My shit's all over the place. I'm fucking weird, dude. Yeah.
I play full default, bro. I haven't even looked at the keybinds.
Same, actually.
Warcraft brain. Okay, 10 Waman says Warcraft brain. Yeah, this is all from like way too much WoW and like Diablo and shit like that, and trying to play Diablo with like one hand and putting everything on the mouse and shit like that. Yeah.
Hey,
Good
I'm
times.
not one to talk. I customize mine. I've got my mouse, my thumb mouse buttons are my utility slots, and then I don't even use a keyboard. I use the Azeron on my left hand, so everything is custom bound on my left. But yeah, it just struck me as odd, but it makes sense now that you explained it. I do appreciate.
No, it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
No,
hotkey
being able to
hustle.
hitting the middle mouse button and
Don't
scrolling up
gas
at the
them up.
same time whips out my spell book, puts the spell I want to cast right there instantaneously. I'm just used to it at this point. It definitely probably seems very fucking weird, and it is. So, whatever.
Someone who's played WoW for over 15 years, I do not agree with anything you just said.
I mean, my first year of WoW when I was like 17, 18, I was a clicker.
Oh, but who
Yeah,
wasn't? Who wasn't?
Yeah.
When you first started,
Yeah.
who wasn't? Come on,
Yeah.
your first level 1700, you're out here, you're clicking aim shots.
I was
That's
a I was a
different.
clicker on an E-Machine's laptop in 2004.
Oh, no.
E-machines.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh,
God.
dude, when I would raid or like, go to fucking AV or something, the laptop would get so fucking hot. I thought my bed was gonna set on fire and shit. Like it was crappy fucking laptop, but I loved it. Good
I'll
little
blow your
laptop.
mind right now. I used to put my left hand on the arrow keys and my right hand on 1, 2, 3 back in the day. on World of Warcraft. I
what
would crisscross my arms.
Oh no.
Oh my
Wow.
god, that's
We
the
all learn. We all start from
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh, this kind of biz.
No, it's comfy, huh?
that's
You know what I
fucking
mean, dude?
crazy.
I
Wow.
probably didn't even know WASD is how you moved back then. to be honest.
Dude, that's crazier than fucking middle mouse button. Wow.
No, it's not.
No.
Crisscrossing your
not-
arms over your
Let's not get carried
keyboard.
away.
No,
That's
he's still on the
fucking
he's still on the
wild.
keyboard.
Carpal tunnel city, dude.
Yeah,
That
exactly,
is
man.
fucking wild to me. Well, okay, so Warlock's cool. Bard is still good. The patch is overall pretty good, but they got to level things out a bit. Jay, keep us going with this Q&A. I know One Peg, bless him, and his awesome videos. He ran down a lot of the questions. It was a great video. I cannot remember most of them, but if you could share some, that'd be
Picture
awesome.
of the new map is in the group chat. If you guys want to check it out, it's a nice little like snow map, like
That's a vibe.
scaffolding thing. What was the new boss? I think they what was the new boss? Cyclops. Yeah,
Cyclops.
Yes.
getting added to Goblin Caves, so that's interesting.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, the new map. That looks ranger heavy immediately to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Imagine the
That-
traps and the
woo,
ranger
yeah.
bullshit, dude. This is a ranger's fucking paradise.
Another ranger buff, nice.
Can we just get a wizard map one time? Can we just get a map with no mobs in it so I can play wizard? That'd be great.
For real.
It's gonna be an open field.
Looks pretty cool though.
What are you guys thinking about? A lot of people are asking for HR ruins or a down portal in ruins. I already feel like ruins has some of the best loot in the game with the quickest sort of map speed and rotations. I kind of feel like ruins is done. I don't know, like it's already a battle map. It's an arena. Like people go in there extremely geared. You almost always see 2 or more caped gaming squads and like full perps. I kind of
Well,
think
I
that's
wouldn't say
good.
it's done, but I think we should just get away from HR in general. There shouldn't be HR cave. There shouldn't be HR crypt. There shouldn't be HR anything. You should just have
Preach.
fucking just regular queues and just play the video game. But to touch on your ruins point, I think you could definitely randomize ruins. Like you have
Sure.
very cool modules and they're the
Mhm.
same every time. But maybe you could just mix them up and switch them around and create a couple of different variations. But overall, like the ruins, I talk shit on ruins for like 3 seasons straight, and now I love it. I love
It's
it. Now. It's
good.
great.
It's
Same,
fun.
So much
yeah,
fun.
same. It's
Yeah.
really good.
I don't
Ken-
know. I think maybe red portal on caves before ruins. If I really
The
had to-
same. Let's
had to
red
pick
portal
one,
to
yeah.
Cyclops.
Sure, in caves, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And
'Cause
that
they
actually
said they
have
want to
be
put
like a-
Cyclops in caves, so like I feel like that's red portal into caves.
have
and
it be
then
like a much
Hopefully one or
harder,
2 people fighting.
much
So a
harder
red
troll,
portal
you
to
know?
like the Cyclops lair, like it's another cave system next to the goblins, and you go
Yeah.
down there and okay.
And then there's just like instead of I don't know how many modules there are, like 8 to 12. There's just like 3 or 4. Kind of like Inferno, but smaller because it's solos.
Yeah, I mean that sounds
Mhm.
fun.
Hmm.
How about it? I just wish red portals would finally populate to a whole different server, so you stop going down to hell and there's nobody there. That's kind of lame. I want hell to be contested in crypts and in potentially goblin caves, and I'm just tired of having an empty lobby, going down to hell, and okay, well now I'm playing PvE simulator. I
Yeah.
want to fight for my right to boss.
You
I
already
will
fought
say,
for
though,
it.
No, I
There's-
didn't, because I queued
Holy
into
shit.
an empty high roller lobby. I didn't fight
Yeah.
for it.
Well, that's just. I think that's like a side. Problem.
That's
I
a
really
huge
think
side.
that-
Well, the thing is, if the HR lobbies are empty and now you have to wait for HR Inferno to fill, it's gonna take like 50 minutes. Like, how many people are even going to Inferno and HR? One
Everyone-
squad, maybe.
Everybody wants to.
Yeah,
everybody
speaking
wants
of,
to,
though,
but-
I think the Inferno fights are way better now.
Hmm.
I've had more Inferno fights in the last. I don't even know how long has it been since the patch. Maybe a week. I've had more Inferno fights in a week than I have since playtest 1 combined. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's a lot of people down there now.
And Inferno fights are great. I just want more of it. I just want like my
Yeah.
lobbies to be populated,
Hmm.
and it is more so the case now. I think it's like a result of fights in crypts being stalemated so hard because of
Sure.
shrines, because of warlock hydras, because of people just running away and playing traps, and then everyone just goes hell because they run out of time, and then you get fights down there, which is cool. Like whatever gets the fights down there, that's fine. And I really do love getting into fights. Like I mean, me and Jay had a crazy fucking battle in hell the other day,
was
where
a wild
where
one,
we
yeah.
aggroed literally the entire map, and a few of us died and a few of us made it out. It was chaos.
That's cool.
Like those chaotic moments are just so much fun. I love it.
They're memorable.
Hmm.
Speaking of memorable, I just remembered one of the questions from the Q&A. It was very disappointing, the answer that I read. There was a question asked about training, the talent trees.
Yep.
And SDF answered, perks are currently at their strongest level. The training trees will help you level up to get to the level that perks currently are at. Most of the perks fucking suck ass and don't even feel good. A lot of the skills suck. That is such a bad fucking way to approach training and talents. It is the most disappointed I have felt from anything Ironmace has said since I discovered this game. I was expecting so much more. And I'm hoping that that's just a preview of what it is and that it is so much more. But if the training tree is me trying to get fucking poison weapon on rogue to go from 1 tick a second to whatever it is, it's like, what is it, 4? It's 1 magic damage. What is it? Let me look it up.
For what?
Poison weapon on rogue. Let me look it up 1 second.
I think it's 1 per stack for 5 stacks.
Okay, so imagine it's only like 2 stacks and you have to spend talent points to get it to where it currently is. Does that sound fun? I just think that's awful.
Probably not.
Keep the perks as is, keep the skills as is. Well, improve some of the skills for sure. But separate training and talents completely from the perks and skills. Make them unique and different. Give me the option to put a bunch of talents in Zweihander if I want. And maybe even unlock a Zweihander perk or skill at the end of the talent tree if that's what I want to do in my Barbarian. But don't make me have to like improve the crush perk or something like that. It just sounds terrible. It was very disappointing.
Well,
what do you
it's
guys
not
think?
only improved, Soma. That's what I'm with you 100%. My interpretation was very similar, but what you just said was beyond my expectations. Actually, it sounded to me like you're basically going to have to navigate this talent tree in a way that's going to allow you to unlock a certain amount of perks, and they are only going to get as good as what we have now. So it's not like you're going to even get a better version of Crush or a better version of Poison Weapon.
You're just getting what
That's
it
the way
already is
read.
right
And
now. Yeah.
I'm hopeful. Like, this is the first time where I'm like really having to be like super generous to hopefully SDF's lack of command of the English language.
Yes,
But,
and we didn't get the full
like,
story. Yeah.
Like, yeah, that concerned the hell out of me. That, and then the comment about maybe allowing people to just choose their level, which seemed really weird. Like, if they're going to merge servers, server merging, they talked about filling up lobbies. So if they added Ruins back to B1, Crypts B2, Inferno B3, that was part of the Q&A. One of the responses that he gave, he said something to the effect of, we want to allow players to choose which level they go to, or quickly, I forget how it was phrased, but some people interpreted that as like, hey, when you queue in, once you're in B1, if you just want to skip Crypts and go down to Inferno, you could do it. And then it's going to matchmake you again and fill up the entire lobby. I'll have to look it up real quick because the way it was phrased was really, really odd.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. And
I mean, it could be. It just depends. If it's like Tarkov and you can get, like, let's say an Inferno key, and then you can sell that on the market, and then you can just skip, like, instead of going Ruins, Crypt, Inferno, you could just queue for Crypt.
spend
That way,
your key. Yeah.
like, it's, depending on your quest, you can also just say, I want to just go to Ruins, then take a blue. Or, you know, I'm further into my quest chain, I'd rather just start on Crypt. Like, that, I think that could work. It just depends how it's
I like
implemented.
that. That's a good idea, so bad, but still, overall, I don't like the idea of being able to like say like, I just want to go to Inferno, because I would just do that. I would just go farm Inferno.
Yeah.
I
That's
think a
what I
lot
would
of
do.
people would, but then at that point, especially if what Nate wants to come true comes true and you're matchmaking,
full.
and Inferno is full with 12 or 15, not very many people are going to make it out of that alive. So, like, it's going to be like a
That's
big
identifying,
battle
actually.
map.
People don't make it out of any fucking motor map alive. Like, people
Well,
fucking die all the
especially if
time
Inferno
anyway.
is full.
Yeah.
How are you going to boss if there's 4 teams in Inferno? That's impossible.
Yeah, it sounds like a shit show. But
Well,
Yeah, it sounds like
you
alright.
bring a wizard with magical lock and you lock all
Ah,
the doors.
yeah, you just
All
block
right, I
all the
got
doors with
exact
Hydra.
quote here.
Like, can you imagine locking somebody in the treasure room, dude? How grief would that be? I can't wait.
Oh, true.
All right, here's the exact quote. So the question was, is it planned in the near future to do a downstairs from Ruins to Crypts, So you play next round crypts and then can decide whether to go extract or hell. This is worded really poorly. Here's the response. When the floor matchmaking system is implemented, we plan to make it possible to play ruins, crypts, and infernos at once and immediately skip down to floors you don't want. I'm very interested in whether this works as expected. That to me was just like blew my mind in the worst way. Like that where's the dungeon delving progression? Like if you can just skip, then why not just have individual maps? You don't need portals at that point. It just negates all of that. That's
so to play devil's advocate. To play devil's advocate here, to kind of maybe to speak on the positive side of Ironmace, maybe what they mean. Maybe I'm grasping here. So remember during beginning of playtest 4 or 5 when Ruins was first implemented, when you had the staircases that go down to crypts. What if they mean by having access to all floors? Like meaning like those stairs are open immediately. You could load into Ruins.
Oh, I see.
And you could run right to the stairs if you want. If you navigate there right away, you can go into the stairs at any time. And they may have a similar system in crypts to go down to hell. Because I'm not sure if that's what they mean, but maybe I'm grasping here. But that wouldn't be that bad. That sounds kind of cool.
That sounds a little bit
It'd be a fun
better.
spot to camp too.
Yes, I agree. That sounds way more reasonable. Yes.
It's not an early
Maybe not
portal. It's a
immediately
static
open.
thing. Yeah, maybe like 5 minutes in or something like that.
Make it halfway or something. If anything.
Okay, that sounds a little bit better. That's a good thought.
That's a hopeful take. We'll roll with that.
I'm trying.
I have extremely
Thanks, Ken.
high hopes for the quest system and the talent tree system, the training system. And who knows what's going to happen with quests. I'm sure they're going to be fun. But that answer to the training question was extremely disappointing because
what would you want? Sorry, what would you want like
Yeah.
the skill set be? Like
Okay,
obviously
so-
the answer was disappointing. What would be ideal?
Ideal to me is don't fuck with the perks or the skills. Just leave them alone. Make the training and the talent tree system its own thing, and make it so that you get a free respec. I don't know, or you can earn ways to respec, but you would need to make decisions with your points down, let's say three branches, and those branches have little twigs on them, right? That offshoot as well, and you have to pick on your fighter if you want to specialize in sword and board, if you want to specialize in wearing leather. Do you want to be a spearman? Do I want to specialize in arming sword? Do I want to be even better with shields? Do I want to be I don't know, better with two-handers? Do I want to specialize in crossbows or something like that?
Crystal swords.
Or crystal sword. And I'm not saying that it should be a very, very powerful thing every time you click that talent that you want. It shouldn't like make you overpowered. It should be a very slight thing. It should be like you recover from blocks 5% faster. And then maybe you can get up to 15% faster, and that's it. And then that talent is maxed out at 3 points. And then you can continue down the tree. And if you max out, that's already in a perk. Sure, I get that. I'm saying you're improving it more, though. You're actually choosing. I'm reading chat. They're saying that's already in a perk. Sure. So you do have a shield mastery perk, but it's not that great. It's decent. I think shield mastery is okay. I run it when I'm wearing a shield on my fighter. But what if I could spend some talent points to make it just a little bit better, and my character's identity is a guy with a sword and shield, instead of every raid just slapping on whatever weapon I find that's blue or better than whatever I'm wearing. Instead, if I find an upgrade of, let's say I'm a sword shield guy and I'm talented into shields. If I find a really fucking juicy longsword, what if I'm like, you know what? I'm actually not going to put this on. I'm going to keep my sword and my shield on. That's actually a little bit weaker because my talents that I've invested time into and points into actually make my shield a little bit stronger than this better weapon or something like that. I think that's fun. I think systems like that are going to be the types of systems that get people super addicted to this game and make multiple characters or put a lot of time into their character's identity and experiment a lot more than just, this is my main, I'm going to go dominate. No, I think people would actually make multiple fighters and try different builds. And maybe they're a fighter main. Maybe they have 3 different fighters. They have the spear fighter that they play. They have their sword and board fighter. They have their two-hander and leather. You know, like, I think that would be super fun. That's
sounds-
what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, it sounds like you're describing like roughly like World of Warcraft skill trees, and like
A
to me, I
bit.
think,
A bit.
well, I love that because I love like or at least original like WoW Classic BC, rather than looking like those special like skill trees, like having one class with like 3 potential trees, and then in those trees you have a lot of options, and like sometimes you're playing hybrid classes, you're playing maybe I'm playing half holy, half protection, or I'm playing my retribution cleric or something. Stuff like that
Palm
is really
Pyro.
cool. Yeah, Palm Pyro,
Crossfire
yeah.
Mage.
Dude,
yeah.
Arcane Frost, things like that are like super
Yeah.
cool. It creates so many different unique builds, and if they even had something close to that, that would be very cool. Because like, WoW has like 60 points and 3 trees per class, and like every 10 points in one class or specialization, you get like a unique ability or a perk or something.
Exactly.
You know?
That's what I was going to say. So if you go all the way down a branch and you're like, I'm going to go 2-handers, like I just want to be a 2-hander fighter, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to put all my talents into that. If you put all your talents down that branch, at the end, you should be rewarded for putting everything into that specialty. Be able to spend a talent to unlock a new perk, a new skill, or something like that, that is only for people that dedicate all their talents to that one type of build. That would be so fucking cool and very, very fun. But to have a training system that makes the perks that are already whatever, just to get them to where they currently are and have to play with weaker versions of everything, that does not sound very fun to me at all. I don't
want to put
hate
5
it.
points. I don't want to put 5 points in the Fire Mastery to have it go from 1 to 5% like it is now. Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
Sounds like a terrible system.
They could copy WoW though. I really hope that they do.
Same. Like I said, they don't even have to make individual talents super powerful. Just enough so that it feels slightly significant and gives you a little bit of class identity in a special way, in a way that you want, you know? I think it'd be amazing.
I feel like I hear what you're saying, but I like that every class feels somewhat similar because it's easy to transition between classes and the speed with which they're developing them. Like we just got this incredible Warlock, and now by end of year we're about to have this crazy Druid that can turn into like, let's say, a werewolf, and then we're gonna have Sorcerer, Artificer, Monk, Necromancer. Like I would rather they just keep pumping out classes that at their core are all strong in melee if they want to be, and then they just have these like fun specializations within that. Then instead of focusing on, I think it was when you came onto our podcast, you were talking about the talent tree system a lot and sort of prestiging. And I kept saying I felt like that was going to be the furthest away. And the more I hear them talk about it, the further and further I feel like it is going to be away. Like they are going to focus on more maps, more bosses, more artifacts. And then like they already have trouble balancing as it is. I feel like if we throw in this talent tree, I don't know, it sounds like a lot of resources for them to then balance the already sort of balanced classes. You know what I mean? Like
I don't think there's like really great balance in the game right now. I think that classes are going to come no matter what. That's just a part of the game. There's going to be fucking 4 or 5 more classes. We all know that. But you have to give, whenever you choose a class, you're like, my main is a fucking Warlock. Don't you want a little bit more say in what kind of Warlock you are? Like, what if you could be a summoner? Like, I'm going to put my points into being the best summoner. I'm going to be the best Shadow Bolt spammer or the Bolt of Darkness spammer or whatever. I think, I don't think it's necessarily a nightmare for balancing if you just do it, just slight little changes. Like I said, don't make any talents so overpowered that it breaks the game. But if you have a darkness tree in the Warlock talent tab, and you can go down that darkness tree and you can cast Bolt of Darkness 3% faster, and you put 1 point is 1%, you put a second, then a third point, you max it out, you have 3% faster cast speed for Bolt of Darkness. That is not game breaking. That's like having plus 3% cast speed as a stat on one of your items, but it only is specific for one ability. I don't think that breaks the game.
I think it should stay minimal.
Yeah,
It should be
I hear
minimal
so
changes.
Like, I hear Sobad's like point where he feels like the skill tree would take a lot of like company resources and like balancing and stuff is rough. But I feel like I always say the juice isn't worth the squeeze, but I feel like in this scenario the juice is worth the squeeze. Whereas if you have like in-depth character skill trees, like it'll create so much more replayability for each individual class that like the effort put into those systems would be worth it, I think, anyway.
You know, did you guys ever play Diablo 3?
Yeah.
Nope.
One of the worst parts about Diablo 3 was that at any time you could just like put on new skills and passives. You could just change. You could just be like kill a bunch of mobs, stand in a field, change your build completely, swap shit out, and then continue moving on. And I discovered that when I could just change my build on the fly instantly, it made me not want to ever experiment with making a new witch doctor or try another class. I'm like, well, I'm already overpowered. I can already just, you know, switch up my build instantly on this witch doctor class. Why make a new one ever? I'm just going to experiment until I get bored with this and then move on. I think it's a good thing to give people lots of options, allow them to build out a personal identity with the class they like, and then either respec it or make a new one. And respec should be costly, and there should only be a couple. I think
it costs centaur tails. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you know, so back to your point, like, yeah. I think the problem with being able to change your build on the fly very cheaply, it means that you can always change your build to suit the situation you're in, and that kind of makes it boring because you're always in an optimum state. I think like a lot of the fun in a game like this is making a unique build that's powerful in X, Y, and Z situations, but then also is weak in X, Y, and Z situations. And you have to like balance it out. Yeah. It's like, that makes it interesting. Like I'll go like Ignite Dagger, like, oh yes, I can finally kill some mobs and I can stab people. But then I run in with Haste and Viz Ignite and I go stab someone and then I get one shot. I'm like, oh, okay, well I get one shot by fucking barbarian still, like everything. But like it's cool having the power dynamic and then like having your weaknesses, and that creates interesting gameplay. And if you could just switch whenever you want, that makes it boring and kind of homogenizes everything. I don't know. I think I'm hopeful. I'm worried, but also hopeful because Ironmace. I've had a lot of faith in Ironmace in the past, but recently, they've been worrying me. And if what they're saying is true about the skill trees, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned because I feel like it could be really great. It could be great if they do it right, but it could just be very lackluster and boring if they do it wrong.
And here's the thing. If you only have a limited amount of training points, does that mean that I can only get a certain amount of perks up to snuff to where they currently are, and then the other perks just kind of fucking suck and there's no point to ever use them?
Yeah, maybe.
Like that just sounds terrible.
Then you have a whole host of players that are all choosing the same skill tree pass, right? And the same perk pass. All the talent points, everyone's going to do what's meta. You won't actually see any kind of diversity or subclassing if it's the way it is now, right? Because generally speaking, pretty much for every class, you can predict. If all of you guys told me, like, Jay's going to play Bard, Ken's going to play Wizard, Josh is going to play Warlock, and Soma's going to play Barbarian, I could probably pick with like 90% accuracy what perks you guys are going to take.
Yeah.
Right. So if those are plugged into the talent trees, then everyone's just going to be taking the same path. Then what the hell is the point?
And that's exactly why I'm saying you need to give people a bunch of options to build the character that they want, the fantasy that they have for their ranger or their fighter or whatever. If I'm just training to make,
you can only do that. You can interrupt, but you can only do that if it's not going to cost you the rest of your character, right? Like, you can only do that if you know that you're not sacrificing your ability to be relevant in the rest of the game. Like Augie, Augie, if there's a longsword or a two-hander perk for a fighter, Augie's going to take it. Anything that he can do to max out longsword, he's going to take it.
Yeah.
But if that costs him the rest, like if he has to sacrifice so many other perks in order to get that it makes the character just unplayable, then we've got problems. So hopefully they can balance it enough to where you can be somewhat general. They have enough sense to give the perks that are already meta. They can look at the data and say, okay, these are the meta perks that we need to give everybody easily. And then from there, you can start to specialize. Hopefully that's what they'll do. I'm trying to be optimist like Ken right now, because this latest Q&A was probably one of the more disappointing ones for me. Overall.
All right, Optimus SBS is coming in here because this Q&A was freaking awesome. They were like, we're coming out with...
for the most part it was, yeah.
It's like Druid, Metamorphosis, we're getting a new map, new bosses, new artifacts.
That's
okay,
all
but
good.
Here's the best part. Let's dive into questing, because this was the first time where they finally were like, all right, you guys are right. This stash system is dog shit. So when
That's
we
true.
quest, now we can get like armor boxes and weapon boxes. They already said they're talking about stash expansions that are tied to questing. So now we're getting into that sort of Tarkov feel. And I've always felt like this game has needed that. We talk about it a lot on the HTL podcast as well. And coming out with the gold bag and the gold chest is a step in the right direction. And now we can stack crafting mats. And so I think with all of these things, it gives us something, especially when we do the next full wipe, right? And we're level 1. This gives us a lot of stuff to go for. And although I haven't done a lot of crafting myself, there's no doubt, like Ken mentioned, the crafting items are really strong. And it's a fun part of the game, especially when you see in the top right, like someone got killed by Centaur's Madness. And you're like, okay, I got to kill that guy. Like that guy's worth a gold key at least.
Right.
Plus he's probably backing it up with more. But I think the crafting is leading us into really awesome questing. Because crafting already feels like a quest.
I
Now,
agree.
like this
Yeah.
is the first time where I'm like, I want to go kill both Centaurs in Inferno, or like, can we really press ourselves to get all 3? Because those are worth a ton of money now. And
No,
I
you're
like
right about that. It is fun to go out there and look for reagents. It does feel like a quest in itself. And I'm excited to see what they do with the quest system. I hope it comes out. Didn't they in the Q&A? Didn't he say it's coming out like in a couple months?
I think it's this year. Like I think we're gonna get the big sort of soft launch, which is Druid, Snow Map, Cyclops, I don't know, questing, and then it's a full wipe, and
Yeah.
then who knows, like consoles, phone games, Steam on the way, like just so much cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, questing is going to be awesome, man. It's definitely going to change the game massively. It's going to be really fun. But
It was a little questionable though. They said a quest would come out by the end of the year. So when they say a quest, I hope it's like a quest line.
oh,
Truly.
Right.
One quest.
oh
Maybe it's
he
one
said
super long
a quest.
Yeah, I think so.
He's like,
Yeah,
our
shoot-
quest
shoot-
system
shoot it
is
for you,
here.
Heaven.
You're all gonna love this one quest. Yeah.
Yeah, you want that
Yeah,
stash
kill
tab?
5 zombies, it's over.
Better if you have a badass quest.
You have to throw a fucking explosion bottle at your feet. Do a 360 no scope with a fucking windless crossbow and one shot someone in the head. That's the
One
quest.
shot 2 people. It's got to be collateral.
Oh yeah, you gotta hit 2 people. Yeah. That's right.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I think quests are single-handedly going to be the most important thing they add to the game. I think their gameplay loop is already great. Their gameplay is great. Their combat is awesome. They just need to put some meat on the bones, and like questing is that. Like Tarkov, I mean, I love Tarkov to death, but the gameplay fucking sucks. I'm gonna be honest. What keeps me involved in that game is like doing the quest and like running through the maps and having goals and like getting rewards and like the gear fear and all that stuff. Like, and if you could just get that kind of feel into this kind of game, you're gonna have a winner, And hopefully they focus on that, because
We were talking about this yesterday. How it's nice that like the crafting, like it forces you to go to ruins to get some gold, and then you gotta go hit some hell to get some centaur tails and stuff. It forces you to play other maps and whatnot. Gotta go to Goblin Caves to get the troll pelt. Nice.
And the spider silk.
Yep,
Exactly.
Yep, Spire Silk.
What do you guys think about artifacts right now? Because I love artifacts. I think they're so awesome. But every time I get one, I feel like, why would I use this when I can sell it for 40 or to 100,000 gold in Trade Guild? Like I constantly want to use them, but I'm always just like, I could buy so much more with this. Like where are these keys coming from? Like a stinky stick sold for 30 or 40 keys, like second day of wipe. How did
What
someone
the
get
fuck?
40 keys on day 2 of wipe?
That's so stupid, man.
Dupers
I
I all know the
RMCs.
answer.
It has
Yeah.
to be RMC, right? Like it has to be.
I think we know.
It's swipers, let's be
The
honest.
swipies.
Yeah.
But like, what are they doing? Like they swipe and then they take stinky stick in and die instantly. Like my stinky stick that our group got was, in my opinion, no better than the +2 all purple stick that the merchant had. Like I compared them side by side. I was like, that one's only 100 gold. Like I'll just use that. 20.
I've been
40K
saying,
over
dude,
here,
I think
100 gold over here.
these artifacts and things like that, they should be soul bound. Once you take them out of raid, you can't trade them. I think if
I like
you're
that.
unlucky and you get a item that you can't use for your group, that sucks. I'm sorry, but bring a fighter next time. They could use it.
It's not a bad idea.
That's actually not bad.
What do
Yeah,
you
it's
mean,
not
bro?
bad.
Yeah,
You get
pretty
life
good.
after death. I'll load in on my barbarian and kill you when we get into the match.
Oh, true.
yeah.
True.
Yeah, there's
Well
that.
played, Jay.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Unlucky.
Rat
But
strats
still, I
on
think
the
that's
spot.
genuinely better than selling it. Still.
Yeah,
No.
it's just a problem, right? Just people are just getting these items and they're selling them to RNTers, and then all of a sudden these unique artifacts are worth so much that they're not gettable for even like the best of players because we're not swiping our credit cards.
Yeah.
I will say though, I kind of like it. Like our group sucked and like we lost a lot, and then we got an artifact and we were like, wow, we just made 50,000. Like we did it. It doesn't matter how many times we lost. Like this makes up for like all of last wipe's losses.
Well, for someone like me, like, okay, so even though I play all day, every day, I can't buy a named item. The only way I was able to buy the full gore from Ken here is because he sold it to me for a deal, and I killed some alleged RMTers and sold their gear for keys. So, otherwise, it's completely unobtainable, even for someone like that.
And the only reason why I had full gore is because fucking Jay was bored with dominating with it and gave it to me. Thanks for that, by the way. Thanks for that. That was very fucking fun.
But to answer your question, SBS, why use the artifacts? Content.
Yeah, content.
That's literally it, though.
It's fun.
In my opinion.
Yeah. It's cool to see though, because even again, I play all the time. Like, let's say I'm winning and I'm doing well, but then I look on the trade guild and I want to try out a luck build, and I look at the Fangs of Death necklace and the Grim Smile rings, and they're 5 keys each, and I think, wow, for a little bit of luck, do I want to spend 25,000?
Bro, start mining.
There's
what are
no
you
way
doing?
I'll survive, and make that money back with those rings. I'm not buying that. So who's buying this stuff?
You got to craft them.
I mean, you could buy that stuff for 1,500, by the way. I'll see it on the market left and right.
What, Grim Smile?
The necklaces, whatever.
Some of them,
Just one necklace though for 1,500. That's a lot.
It's more than that to craft.
It's like
They're
10
losing
straight
money.
runs of Goblin for
Yeah,
one item.
but at least that's feasible, right? Like that's
sure,
like
sure.
that's in range, but like the artifacts are like an extreme.
That's
case.
one Skelly Champ lucky kill, and then boom, you got a golden key. Yoink, give me some lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
one
will
salami
say,
stick off the centaur,
I've always
Yeah.
felt like it's good for new players, because if they kill a champ and they get lucky and they get a gold key, boom, 2,000. Like they're set. Like their night is set. So it's fun to have items that anybody can get, and they can make a lot from them. Same thing with Centaur Tail.
So there's probably I think one thing that was important to note is that SDF stated that they pushed out this hotfix rather quickly because there's a big holiday happening in Korea. It's like their biggest holiday. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a big deal over there. And he said that they're essentially going to be out of office for a while, and that they wanted to get something out, and that they know it was a little bit hasty, but they're going to try to fix it, level things out. In your opinion, fellas, what do you think would be the best way to go about leveling shit out? What should the next hotfix fix? How should things be tuned? Let's start with UJ.
Oh, I'm gonna say it, dude. Barbarian should not be the tankiest, fastest, highest damage, most health deal. They should not have everything.
Yeah,
that's it.
I mean, if we're talking about balance,
yeah,
just whatever.
Hydras, sucking hydras and barbarians, I think, are the only like unchecked things right now. Maybe rangers a tiny bit strong, but really they're fine. But
what about when he says leveling things out, like the stat revert they did on gear and whatnot?
I like what he said. I feel like.
Fine.
Sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
I think the stats are fine right now. Like, sure, the damage on paper, like, it looks high. It's higher than it was before, outside of like playtest 3. But I think with all the mitigation changes, it's pretty good. Like, it's I was a fan of both patches though. I was a fan before they made the damage change, and I'm a fan after. So I know a lot of people are complaining on both ends.
I was very worried about the hotfixes. Like I liked their initial patch. I was like, oh, time to kill is so much slower. This is great.
Yeah.
Fights were fun and long. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Then they made the hotfix 2 days later, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm worried. But it doesn't feel that bad. I think there is lots of damage on gear, but they've compensated by lowering damage on weapons, and that kind of makes sense. And I think they can do a little bit more, right? Maybe it's just lower weapon damage, a little more overall. But I think like they're close to being good on that. Like it feels surprisingly balanced. And if you asked me 3 days ago, I would have a completely different answer. But after playing, I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. It really isn't. Just to touch on Jay's point, barbarians are completely busted. Just do something, please. I don't know what the fix is. I don't know how you could fix it completely without like destroying the barbarian class.
It's easy. They got to pick a side. You either want them to be high on MDR, you want them to be high on PDR, but they shouldn't be both and have the most health and stuff like that. So
they need to go magic. They need to go magic res for sure.
Yeah, it's like you have fighter, that's the PDR class, right? And then you have barbarian that has inherent, magic resist. So I think you just maybe pick a side, which I say a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll even go as far to say that this is probably the closest to fully balanced. I think. I thought playtest 3 was very balanced outside Wizard. Like Wizard was clearly a problem back then. But
That was totally fine.
this is yeah, pretty much. I think this is as good as the balance has been, in my opinion.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Ken, same question for you.
Well, yeah, I agree with all of his barbarian points. I think one thing I always say every week, traps. I fucking hate them. They are brain dead. They're stupid, and they're just free kills. I shouldn't have to be worried. I shouldn't have to look at every single rock on the ground. I should be looking forward and looking at my adversary, not just fucking staring at my feet the entire dungeon. Because if I step on one trap, I am dead.
Make them slow.
Make them slow. Make it a loud noise. Make it do damage. Make it more utility. Make it be an alarm system. Like you could add so many cool utility traps to the game that isn't stunning, damaging, and dying. Like that is just nobody has ever stepped in a trap and died and been like, this is sick gameplay. Nobody. And no ranger has ever gotten a kill in a trap and been like, this was very, very fun and satisfying. I'm so much better. It isn't good for anybody. Nobody likes it.
I mean, look at yesterday. We're dominating game after game after game. I mean, granted, we're some of the best players in the game, so there's that point to consider. But I hit one trap, game over. I just insta die immediately after. So there's like there's no counterplay other than I guess cranking my gamma up and staring at the floor all game, and that is not fun for anybody.
Not to mention, we check for traps. I spam fucking hide at the door looking for traps because you can trigger traps, and it was just on a staircase, and I couldn't hit it, and. It feels bad. It feels bad.
Yeah.
Like I remember I had pestilence and like my god set and fighter, and I was running through lobbies and I was destroying people, and then I lost it to a trap. Just one trap with 2 rangers shooting me. They shot me 10 times before I could even undo the trap. So I was like, okay, it just isn't fun. But that's my weekly trap rant. I'll rant about it tomorrow probably.
All right.
Daily.
So bad. What do you think?
I agree with Ken. I feel like if you asked me 3 days ago, especially when we were doing the podcast and everybody was coming in right when the hotfix finished, and they're like, this is crazy. We're back to like +5 power and high weapon damage and +2 all. But it's on like, +2 all is on like 4 of the 10 pieces. And they sort of actually balanced it out pretty well. The only thing I'll say is that I liked the higher TTK, but it also made getting third-partied really hard to recover from. And I felt weak. When I was on my Barbarian with a felling axe, I was like, I hit that white skeleton in the head 3 times. Why is that alive? And so that was too weak. And now it's like a little bit too strong. But I love Ironmace because although Johnny Ironmace can be really heavy-handed, I like what SDF said is that in this recent event, they boosted the price of HR Crypts to 150 and Goblin Cave to 100. Horrible. Way too expensive. Nobody wanted to go. Empty lobbies. But I like that he said, I would rather do something than do nothing. And if it's too much or it's too little, like we're out here trying and those numbers lead somewhere. And when I compare that to Tarkov, I really respect that because, Tarkov's on like a 6-month wipe and you might not get anything for like 4 or 5 months. Here, it's like every like week or month, they're like, all right, here's a bunch of shit. Some of it's not going to work. Like, I don't know. That's content. I appreciate that. So I like the patch. Let's tone the numbers down a little bit, but we're in the right direction.
I think a big takeaway from that is the game's going to go in ups and downs during early access.
Yes.
This is the time to do it all.
Yes.
So, you just have to, people just have to know, like, it's going to be great sometimes, it's going to be shit sometimes, and that's
the nature
access.
of it.
And this is, it's the best early access out there.
Yes.
Name one games company that has patched like 4 times in a month. I'll wait.
Rust.
I've been saying that.
Rust.
Okay, other than them.
All right.
Also, this is the easiest game to trade classes. Like, they're all strong in melee. It doesn't matter who I play. Like, I can just bash whatever. Like, as long as you're good at dancing, you're good on any class, at least in PvE.
That's true. Arcane, same question, sir.
For me, mainly it's the Ranger arrow slow, which SDF did address in that Q&A. He did say that he feels like the arrow slow is a little much. I think Ken has talked about this in the past. I would like to see it to where if they hit a limb, if they hit your leg in particular, they get max slow. Any other part of the body should be half of what it is right now.
I think that's good.
That was really my primary complaint. I would like to see not necessarily buffs for Cleric. I'm kind of butthurt about my Cleric play right now because playing Bard, playing Fighter, and a little bit of Ranger lately. Not too much Wizard, unfortunately. I went back to my Cleric and it was like, oh gosh, Dude, it is hard to play solo cleric. Every other class, I feel like I can go into ruins and I can get out. If I get into a fight, I feel like I have some options to maybe outplay. But as a solo cleric, I have no options to win unless I have Earthquake and their team decides to stand right next to each other. Then, like, you know, and in the ruins, it's just so easy to get away from Earthquakes. So, like, Rangers on ruins are just absolutely shredding me. I got just absolutely destroyed by a barbarian with a warhammer earlier. It's like Jay said, he's coming Mach 12. He's got all the PDR and he's got magic resist. He's just running at me. And
Got 3 extra health pull.
And I'm a cleric. It's like, what am I gonna do? I can't run. I can't DPS. I can't cast anything of significant damage if I can't earthquake this dude. And my earthquake cast time is half an hour. So what am I gonna do with this barbarian running at me? That felt kind of bad. So I'm with Jay on that. I think the arrow slow would be a nice quality of not quality of life, just a nice nerf to have. And then I would like to see a couple additional spells for the cleric that give him a little bit more solo. I don't think he needs more team comp utility. I think he's fine there. But maybe 1 or 2 things that would allow the cleric to be a little bit more viable solo.
Dude, I don't know, man. Cleric solo's fun.
Cleric's crazy.
Cleric
man.
solos. I love.
A war mole.
I
was waiting for it.
I will go into Goblin Caves, no spell cleric, just magic staff, divine strike, and judgment, and just destroy people.
You got to go Goblin.
Smite and judgment. Yeah.
Sorry, smite.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
And I did do that. I ran the melee, the Peter Puncher build, and that was a blast. But like that, to me, that only works 1v1. Like, you can't go into ruins, you can't go into crypts and try to punch out people as a solo cleric.
Yeah, the problem with cleric is that you're slow, right? You're never running away from people. So like once you're fighting. It's you're winning or they're winning. But the cleric, they're pretty strong in fighting. But you can just never reset like a wizard or a ranger.
Right. You have to do very short resets because you can self heal. You have to like quickly swap spellbook, self heal, and go back to fighting. They're committed. Yeah, they have no sprint. But a Holy Strike is really, really like you are purging them of their sins and their life.
Yeah, it's good.
If you hit a Warlock with Holy Strike and you have Will, like you pretty much almost just one-shot a Warlock.
I ran into Atra Goblin Case my Warlock the other day, like in a really good set, like insane, and I saw this absolutely juiced cleric. Like he had like +4 matty damage, +4 matty damage, plus like 8 matty damage on his fucking book, just like the best of the best matty damage stacking cleric. And I ran into him right away. And I'm like, oh, I have Eldritch Shield, 40 matty damage shield. Yeah. I'll be fine. Of course I'll be fine. I put my 45 magic shield. He shoots me once, half HP. I'm like, what? What are these numbers? I Holy Shield again, or Elder Shield again, and I heal. Then it hits me in, half HP, and then his third one just kills me through 3 Eldritch Shields. He 3 Holy Strikes me through 3 shields. I'm like, what is this? I'm not sure what the scaling is. I'm not sure if it's a gear issue, but...
Doesn't Eldritch Shield not block Divine, though?
Oh, I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I'm the stupidest player in the game. I didn't know that.
Actually.
Yeah, Cleric is the hard counter to Warlock.
Oh my god, I'm over here thinking I'm the wizard brain, but no,
if
really,
you Holy Strike them twice, they're dead. Like no matter what, they'll never get that health back.
Okay, I'm over here just stacking 10 HP for nothing.
It's heaven and hell.
I feel stupid.
I love that they did that. Also, I think I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on the podcast, but SDF said they're going to add like basically artifact weapons to your alignment. And I think that's a really cool system.
What? They're adding alignments?
Yeah, they're adding. Well, we already have alignments in the game, right? You up and downvote people, and it gives them red or blue names.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Essentially an alignment
system. I see. Okay.
And so I like the idea of like repos using like Heart Strike, or like Soul Sucker, and then on the other side you got blue clerics with like I don't know, God's Grace.
Well, even like Fulgore, it even says in the description for the item that it's like a weapon that was bestowed to a king who was good, right? So there you go. You got a blue name, use your Fulgore. I don't know about that though. Overall, I think that would kind of suck. I mean, what about just like your neutral white names?
Yeah, they use everything else. There's just a couple that are specific. It's like they said with artifacts. Like not all artifacts need to be balanced. Some of them are just for fun.
Yeah.
And we use Stinky Stick. I thought it was fun because there's little stupid fart clouds everywhere obscuring vision. But overall, I was like, this has got to be the worst artifact in this game.
What was the chance for it to proc?
It's pretty high. Supposedly it's low. The wiki says 15%, I think, but I felt like
That's
every
pretty
monster
good.
I was getting at least one.
And does it
And,
hurt
like,
your
my-
teammates?
Yeah, it hurts your teammates. But you can stand in your own fart clouds and the zombie fart clouds and not
Yeah.
take damage. Like I was literally crouched in them, like crawling forward and then like hitting the monsters. And there's just little clouds. Like
That's amazing.
I'd
when
have
you
a-
when you leave
Dude.
a module and you look behind you, there's like 7 or 8 just floating.
Hear me
I
out.
would
A
have
cleric.
train of zombies.
That
if
sounds
I
great.
had
Yeah,
a stick.
dude. Cleric, warlock, and barbarian, all with stinky sticks.
Yeah,
That'd be the
was
shit.
Oh.
That was the
Yeah.
coolest part. Is that was our comp when we got it. So each of us used it for one round after that, and it was cool
Yeah.
to have an artifact that all of us could enjoy. We're like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
like, let's all Stinky Stick.
I think a stinky stick as a solo in the Goblin Caves.
I think that would actually go hard.
Fuck yeah, that's suddenly one of the best artifacts.
Mhm. I think a
Yeah.
barbarian with the Stinky Stick in caves is like its best use. But again, like, am I gonna make 40,000 in the Goblin Caves, or should I just sell my Stinky Stick for 40,000?
Yeah, right.
Like we sold it for 40K. Like I don't know where else you're gonna get that kind of money.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true.
Do any of you have a gold box, like the gold coin treasure chest yet?
Nah.
Nope.
I really want one. I like the pouch. I mean,
I
like,
want it. Yeah, no,
It's
me
nice
too.
to have liquid money in your stash. You know, normally it's just keys. Like if you start to make
Yeah.
money, but it's cool to just have like a bag with 500.
Yeah, the bag's a great addition. I'm a big fan of the bags. I want a chest really bad too. I hear you.
Okay,
day.
so we have covered a lot of shit. Are we missing anything major? Chat, keep us honest. Are we missing anything here? I feel like we've covered a lot, but because we've covered so much, we might be missing a couple things
Oh,
through the
let's
weeds.
talk like a little bit about the tournament that's coming up. Right, so we have Dark and Darker's
Oh.
first official tournament, 100 teams of troubadours, and then that's
Jesus.
leading into 16 for the qualifiers, and then the semis. I think that's a really cool. Like we're finally getting it. Is there going to be private servers? Is what I want to know after the qualifying rounds, right? Because if we have 16, HR holds 12. So if we have 16, that's 4 teams of 3. I think they fight it out on private servers.
I wish. I
I
hope.
hope so.
I mean, yeah, that would be
don't
the
know.
best
I
possible
mean-
scenario, right?
They had tournament servers before, so they definitely
Mhm.
have the option to do it.
Who's on your team, Jay? Who should I be rooting for?
I'm not sure yet. I think I'm playing with one peg though. Not positive. Nothing's
One
locked
pog?
in. Yep.
Yeah, I won't
Okay.
be in the tournament, unfortunately. It's my brother's birthday, and then it's the Las Vegas Renaissance Fair that weekend. So
That sounds really fun, though.
yeah, gonna take the baby to go like pet a horse or something. I don't know, let him look at shit.
There you go.
Should be
Yeah,
fun.
outside. gross.
No, I'd love to
Yeah.
pet a horse. I'm serious.
Dude, I can't wait. My baby's he just hit 1, so like watching him like look at shit and discover stuff is hilarious. So it'll be fun to watch him look at a man walk by in a metal suit and just be so confused. It's gonna be great.
He's one. You should be mining ruby silver at that point, right?
Exactly.
True, get him on the altar,
Yeah.
count, dude.
Give him a turkey leg.
Okay, so do we lose Mr. Griffyuh?
We lost the video.
Bye, Jay.
Bye, you just
Goodbye.
screwed up my whole OBS, Jay. Thanks. I worked really hard on that.
I'm coming back.
Poor
Hey,
Jay,
we're
dude.
back.
Welcome back. Jay, fuck yeah. Oh, he's back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's switch gears a bit and slide into the Q&A. We went a little bit longer because it's a round table. Bear with us, chat. Sorry about that. But Q&A time. Drop it on us. What do you guys got? Questions, concerns, comments? You got a bitch about something, gripe about something, compliment so bad's
Yeah.
fucking aviators,
I
whatever
got
you
one.
guys want to do.
All right. Well, while we wait
Ironmace.
for that, real quick. Earlier, Showbad, you were eating spaghetti with a spoon.
What the
Yeah.
fuck were you
Dude,
doing?
Chat was talking about it. I didn't want to grill you while we were talking about Dark and Darker, but now that we have a minute, what the hell are you doing, my man?
And how have you gotten out of your seat 5 times in a podcast? Did you do laundry, dishes, cook, do your taxes too? What are you doing?
This is the only time where I'm not specifically inside the dungeon delving. My issue is that in games like Dark and Darker, where you queue, you're in the match, you do like a little tiny bit of chores, and you queue, you're in the next match. I sort of lose track of real life because it's just instant. All the boring shit is gone. It's just instant action. And so when I'm podcasting, suddenly I'm like, wait, I don't have clean clothes. I don't have any forks. Like, let's do the dishes. Like, let's eat. I forget to eat all the time. So yeah, the main thing that you should recognize is that did that spaghetti make it from the receptacle I microwaved it in into my belly?
You were good at
The
it.
answer is yes. Like, we consumed that skit really fast too. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's like the one good thing about Tarkov, right? Like I load up for a Tarkov match, I could like file my taxes, go do some laundry, get the dishes done, but before
I
I'm
go
in match.
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do that in this game because you're just in there.
Yeah, I go get groceries. I give like the homeless guy in the corner $1, and I'm like, up, still in queue.
Why do
Here,
you,
I'm
why do
already,
you
like,
have a
3
homeless
rooms
guy
deep.
in your corner?
I live in San Diego. It's real bad here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You should probably kick that guy out of your room if he's just hanging out in your corner. That's weird. Anyway, okay. Q&A. What do you guys got? Let's see here. Sly RP Gaming says, let's talk about how Sobad looks like a much skinnier, younger Bradley Cooper. Okay.
Bradley Cooper.
Ashadilo. He asks, what are your guys' thoughts on affixes being similar to Diablo 2, where lower quality items have less affix slots but have higher affix rolls? Example, only blue ambulance rolling +3 to a skill tree. An example for Dab would be a green item having +3 or 4 weapon damage, whereas a purple could only roll up to +2 weapon damage but has more affix slots overall.
Yes.
It's a pretty good idea, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that all of a sudden, if they don't balance it correctly, then you're just like some of the green stuff will be better than a lot of the purple stuff.
I think that's a good thing, actually.
Do you?
A little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, people often complain because I play wizard, like, bro, your gear is so cheap. You're a wizard because like a lot of the time the best in slot wizard stuff is just a green padded legs with +3 magic damage, and like getting epic or blue or legendary doesn't even matter because my best in slot item is some shitty green. So
yeah, well, the thing is, like, in Diablo 2, if you were like a Javazon, for instance, you could find just blue regular magic gloves that had best in slot shit for like attack speed or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And they would actually roll better than any possible, like the blue magic gloves would roll the best possible attack speed compared to any other fucking rarity or item or anything. So it made you want to keep looking for just your basic blue magic gloves. You might get super lucky with a god roll on it. I think that's actually fun.
Yeah, I can see that working. I think the only problem with this game is that there's so many dead stats that if you're rolling like lower numbers on like your epics and getting 4 or 5 dead stats and like the one good stat you get is a low roll, that feels kind of bad. I feel like it would be better if there weren't so many dead rolls. Like if I wasn't going to get resourcefulness or intelligence on my halberd like that, because that just feels bad in my opinion. But I do see the appeal. That does sound pretty cool if they could do it correctly.
It sounds like squishing the gear gap even more, which is kind of what like the last patch was.
Well, I feel like with the power of artifacts and uniques, it almost doesn't matter how much you squish it. Nothing will ever make up for how strong those are. Like a +20 magical damage on a weapon per hit, you have vastly overcapped yourself in damage. And like, it doesn't even matter what the rolls are. Kuma's Fang will always be better than anything else, no matter what it rolls. And so
yeah, but those are items for like the top
That's different.
0.001%.
Yeah, it's slightly different.
Or not even the top, just 0.001% of the player base. So.
Or just a swipers, yeah.
Yeah, I liked what
I don't think
SCF
it
said
necessarily applies.
about adding like smaller effects that are similar to those to the crafted weapons. Like it would be cool if Demon's Glee just like if any of those crafted weapons did like a little something, like some like little cosmetic or some like little block of text.
Yeah,
Doesn't have to
those
be a lot,
craft weapons are sweet because like
and they're hard to get already.
They're like unique light. Like they're not like as good as the artifacts and stuff, but like they're fairly expensive but feasible to get, but also very strong and cool. And I wish like they would add some cool cosmetics for them or like better visuals or unique models so they feel like more unique.
Yeah, like the Cloak of Darkness.
Yeah, exactly. Something that would be awesome. But yeah, big fan of that.
But yeah,
let's see here. Glabussy, he asked a question a few minutes ago. What type of subclasses should be added to the talent trees? So I've mentioned multiple times that it'd be really cool if the idea of Dungeons and Dragons subclasses were how they factored or what they would do with talent trees, right? So the talent tree could be like the evocation wizard line or the necromancer line, and then you could actually talent out your wizard based on those like 5e subclasses. So for instance, the evocation wizard, he's more powerful with stuff like fireball, and he can talent out his fireball to not actually do damage to his teammates when he casts it into the group of people fighting, right? Like talents like that. Or like a necromancer talent, for instance, on wizard would be if you kill someone with zap, you get 20 HP back or something like that, right? Like you pull some of their life force out. I'm just throwing out quick ideas. I'm not saying this is what it would be, but just quick examples, stuff like that.
I see Jay shaking his head. I'm not sure if he's like disgusted with your.
I don't know if he's discussing with me or if he's talking to his chat. I don't know what he's doing. What's up, Jay? Thoughts?
This is one bougie ass motherfucker. We get it, bro. We get it.
Look, Jay, you
Wait,
came
what?
out of nowhere and you got like 3,000 viewers a day. What are you making over there, all right?
What?
Why don't you have little wine implements?
So you need peak gaming. You
Don't
can't
try and deflect. Wait a
It's
second
easy. That's
here.
aegis, all right? I blocked and sent it right back.
but a touching idea for subclasses, I do like those ideas. I mean, I think you could just have simple specialization, like frost, arcane, fire, specialization for wizard. You do like literally, I always talk about the WoW ones because WoW did it so well. You could obviously do like your shield fighters, two-handed fighters, your two-handed barbarians, etc. Like those kind of subclasses would be cool. Would be simple to implement and it wouldn't be broken. There's like a lot of really deep stuff you can go into Dungeons and Dragons lore if you want, like multi-classing stuff like that is very complicated, and I'm not sure if they can tackle that kind of level of subclassing because that might be too much. But I think start simple. Start simple. Give like 3 subclasses to each class. That makes sense. That's not super busted, and you can always expand in the future. That's just my 2 cents. Be simple, humble, be small.
Interesting.
That's my takeaway.
Okay.
Unlike that
Arcane,
wine
what do you
glass.
think?
That
What do
thing
you think about
massive.
subclasses and factoring them into talents? So you're the evocation wizard instead of just the wizard, or you are a summoner warlock instead of just a warlock, or whatever.
Talking to Sobad or
No, to Arcane.
oh.
Wait, what was the question? I didn't know that was for me. I was reading the chat too.
Oh no, I was asking
I
what
lost
you.
the plot.
I was because you know D&D. You're a nerd like me. What do you think about subclasses factoring in?
I think what Ken said is spot on. I think if you give us 3 to start, that's the best plan for now. I think getting into it to the level of complexity that at least like old school Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2, like that's going to take a lot. And these guys, I mean, one of the more, and I don't want to be Mr. Negativity here. I feel like I'm to some extent playing into Donnie's pessimism because he's not here a little bit. I don't. Yeah, I don't want to see them try to go overboard with the amount of people that they have on staff. SDF flat out said, like, we don't even have any more physical space to put bodies at Ironmace HQ in the dojo right now. It's like, don't try to overdo it. Give us something that's sound. It can be simple. Simple is fine. Give us something that's sound and it's going to not break the game, because if they do try to do too much, if they make non-data driven decisions, especially like what we just saw.
Yes,
when
they even
came out.
admitted it.
I mean,
yeah,
I know. I respect the fact that they admitted that.
yes, I was surprised.
But yeah, I would rather see them keep subclassing simple to start, and eventually, as they grow, if they could do something that even scratches the surface of what D&D did in previous iterations, that would be awesome. But I don't want to get my hopes up for that at all at this point.
I think that's important though, because I think the game is simple, right? And that's like one of the biggest drawing points to it. So
I agree.
yeah.
Someone asked, what did they admit? SDF admitted that they did drop that hotfix after the giant EA patch without looking at data. They just did it before they went on vacation, before the holiday started, and that
they said they looked at the data.
Look at the Q&A. He says
Grayson said that they overdid it, but it was a step in the right direction. So like, there's like cross contamination of what the devs and the mods are all saying and whatnot. But if you like gather it all together, I think it's still like they looked at the data, they overdid it, like let's step it back a little bit, and that's sort of what Ironmace does, right? Like they go heavy, then they revert like a bit, and so like that process should be expected.
No,
I agree
Arcane.
with Jay as well. Like the game is simple,
Yeah.
and so I do think a lot of people meta shift to a new class, or at least all of us just meta shift, and I think that's what happens with most games.
Of
Isn't that what
course.
happens with
Yeah.
League? Like you just meta shift each new patch.
Yeah, it always happens. Yeah. But Arcane, you saw the same question I did, where he basically admitted he did something by feel, and that he made a decision without. Yes, there's
Yep. He said
absolutely.
the holidays coming up. We didn't use data. We rushed. Basically said we rushed it out the door and we did
Yes.
it based on feel.
Yep, he did say that.
I think
yeah.
that's fine though.
Sure, yeah, of course, they're playing
Yeah,
their own
during
game.
EA,
Yeah.
Now's the time to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
During EA,
Yeah.
once they're full production live, then you can't get away with that. But I think they know that. I'm not trying to.
I respected
be
that he
wrong
admitted
for
it.
that.
I was
Yeah,
surprised
I
and
do
I
too.
respected it. Yeah. Okay, so by the way, so bad you got me wanting a glass of wine. Not even kidding. I love wine, bro.
I have one request. Can we get a zoom in on the cat?
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
let's see.
just. I don't
I
have
just
that
wanna see that
feature,
big
so I'm
guy.
just gonna. I'm gonna bring my little.
Damn, sounds like you gotta pick him up. Look at him, dude.
Oh,
She's
That's a
she's from
loaf right
Japan.
there.
that's
Yeah,
a,
she's a little loaf. And the other one got curious when I made kissing noises.
Oh,
Yeah. I brought her from
Nice.
Japan. It was a nightmare. She got lost in the airport for 2 hours. The whole
Jesus.
thing. Yeah, they had to check her for bombs, and I swore to God to them that she was like furious and didn't like being held. They tried to pick her up, and she like did a double jumping backflip, like kicked off his chest and like dived backward, and she just took off. She was gone.
Hold
Yikes.
on.
It
Hold
was
on.
Damn.
awful.
Did you
Trying to
say
fly
they
back
had
to
to
Japan.
check your cat?
Check her for
bombs?
bomb. Yeah, bomb residue.
What were they checking?
Where
let's
weren't
not
they
go there.
checking? Where
let's-
weren't
no,
they
let's-
checking? Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they were in the crevasse.
Jeepers, mister. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get some more questions.
Sometimes
Let's
you
see.
gotta ask some questions about that. But
Give us
Yeah,
some
we
questions,
gotta hear
folks.
that whole story sometime.
That's good. That's just we glossed. You got the best part.
Java brought up bringing back tiered maps. Yeah, we talked about that already. I think some of us think it sounds kind of fun. We're kind of neutral on it at this point.
I
Let's
love
see.
their like aggressive nature of class releases. Like half finished, and then you kind of get used to it. And you're like, I can kind of like this. And then they're like, here's Bard, it's insane. And then they're like, here's Warlock, everyone's a Warlock. That part I really love, and I feel like the same thing is gonna happen with Druid. Here's Druid, be a werewolf, be a stupid little rat running through like the little, gutters or whatever. There's so much. Also, the fact that we haven't really talked about it on this podcast, but the Eye of Kilrog or whatever that the Warlock just got, where you just fly around. Imagine that, like especially on ruins, you're just sitting in the shadows and you just fly around with the eye and sort of CCTV to find teams. There's so much weird stuff that they keep adding that I feel like no one will use. Like 1% of the population is probably using that eye. But I love that they're doing that. Like they just don't care. I feel like whatever they had to have played D&D, right? And now they're just doing whatever they feel like doing.
100%. Oh yeah, they definitely.
Like they just podcast, right? Like they just sit around and they're like, what can we do with this? And I really like that about Ironmace. Like it's not. You're constantly surprised by what they're doing. I feel like.
Yeah, they're always
I've
taking
won-
risks, which is good.
Mhm.
I like they're taking risks. A lot of game companies making games these days, they play it safe, and they make very boring, dull games because of it. And I think Ironmace is very obviously taking risks. Sometimes it sucks, but like, it creates interest regardless. So I
Yeah.
keep taking risks, keep going for it. They're shooting high, and I respect it.
I got one request for the evil eye. Make it permanent, and you can like switch back and forth between it, so you can have little drones on the map, or at least just the one.
Oh. Yeah, like
Then you
it's
can
always
decide
there.
to terminate it and make a new one. That way it's just like it's like Cypher from Valorant. You just shoot up a camera somewhere.
Oh yeah,
Flip on, check it real quick.
that was fun actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I feel like
That would be
maybe if it
cool.
was more like the Cypher camera, like you throw an evil-looking eye on a wall that's like small and blinking and looking around, you can switch to that.
That'd be
kinda
pretty cool
that'd be
aesthetically too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine the call out for that too. Oh, there's an evil eye top corner of pyramid, like they're nearby.
He's
Like,
looking at us.
They're
We're
looking at
spotted. We're
us.
spotted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That
That'd
could be
be
cool.
Go back. Oh, my chat asks about scrolls because they did mention that a long time ago, and I feel like they haven't really talked about it too much. Like a one-time
Yeah.
spell,
Spell scrolls.
Yeah, I
huge about
love
that
scrolls.
in D&D. Yeah.
and then you
And
have a
D&D scrolls
market
are
for
fun.
scrolls as well. Like I
Mhm.
want, an acid arrow scroll or whatever.
Like, so we were playing, me and Jared were playing the other day, and we ran into this like solo fighter who had like a long bow, a short bow, like 2 different weapons, pots, lock picks, just like gold back,
clarity pot.
campfire, just ready for every situation. Like this guy was a veteran adventurer. He came
Yeah.
to the dungeon prepared, and like something about like bringing in consumables for like unique situations is very appealing in these kind of games. Like these games that are about adventure and stuff, and like I think scrolls add to that. Like if I'm like a
Yeah.
fighter and I'm gonna bring in my scroll of fireballs, so I if I run into this whatever other fighter, I got the trump card. Stuff like that is cool. Obviously, it'll be busted and unbalanced and
Yeah.
expensive, but it's cool.
Unexpected.
Yeah. I don't know. Scrolls would be sweet. I'm excited for scrolls.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that's some real tech, dude. Fighter with like an ignite scroll.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
fight-
Another fighter?
I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
fighter would be like the only class. I mean, it states
What about rogue?
that he cannot cast spells at all.
Oh,
now a rogue,
I
I
was
could
waiting
see.
for it.
I could see.
Well,
a-
you gotta think they have no knowledge.
You're right, yeah,
you'd
keep
just
those
be sitting
fighters
there,
down,
using the
keep them
scroll
down.
forever.
You still have to have a little, like 10 knowledge at least to be able to read the scroll. Like a barbarian with 6 knowledge would be like, duh, grug, and like set it on fire.
Yeah.
He throws a scroll at them like a Francesco.
Sets it on fire, throws it. Yeah. Jambit asks, and we've talked about this before. How do you feel about an insurance system like Tarkov? I say no.
No.
Ick.
Nope.
Bad.
Sorry, Jambit.
Bad.
Yeah.
There's way too much gear already.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's too much.
When
And
the-
like
when the gear's gone,
you
it's
can
gone.
strip somebody like naked and take everything. Like most full loop PvP games, you cannot do that. There's either weight or like gear churn, and I feel like the locust taking is like one of the only ways we have like a really true gear churn system.
Wait, what does that
especially with
mean?
Portals right now, where like things are lost. Like things just aren't always in the economy.
Well,
And
no,
so
what do
if
you
we
mean
have
by
insurance-
the locust taking?
Like the
He's saying
swarm,
dark
the swarm.
Oh,
chasing
the
people,
dark
like,
swarm.
yeah, the dark
Oh,
swarm.
oh,
Sorry,
yeah.
I call it the locust.
Locust swarm is the cleric spell. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Dark
like
swarm,
when you look at
dark
the
swarm.
loading
Yeah,
screens, like it shows like scarabs, like a swarm of like beetles or like locusts, like attacking them. So I've always felt like it's locusts.
Interesting.
It seems like we're all kind of in agreement that insurance would be bad. Just to
Yeah.
play devil's advocate, I think the only way something like that can work is if gear has durability, right? But in this game, we don't have any durability. Gear is in circulation forever. If you don't die, your gear is just there forever. It never runs out of dura. Would you guys think a durability system would be good for gear in this game? I kind of think it would. I would like durability. I think gear stays in rotation way too long. And that's coming from a player who will go 50 raids in a row without dying, wearing the same set. I'm like, I should have to either repair my gear or get new gear eventually, because like these teams that just don't die with their best in slot items, they're not losing it ever. I think getting it out of circulation is better for the economy overall. Maybe that's a hot take. I think a lot of people will probably hate that.
but if you're rich as fuck, you're gonna have the gold to always repair your god shit
Yeah,
anyway. So who
true.
cares?
Yeah, but at least you're spending something, right? And like say you're using like craftable gear, I have to go get some more centaur tails to repair my demon clad or something.
Oh no.
So you have so
no,
Ken
holy
Kenobi
shit.
will have one less mule filled with gold as your repairs
Right.
and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah. No, it doesn't make sense. No.
Yeah, all right. I tried.
I like this question a lot. Some people have asked for more weapon mechanics, like the longsword has. What do you guys think about that?
Depending on what they are, yes, please.
Yes, agreed.
Getting good with a
actually agree
longsword
Jay.
is incredibly satisfying. It's very fun.
Yeah, but like I like the simplistic nature of the game because although at its core it's simple, it's also vastly complicated. With the ability to look at other classes, identify what they can or can't do based on what they're doing in the moment, I feel like is a big part of this game's PvP rotation, like when to reset, when not to reset. And having something like a longsword or like a spear that can block and do damage, I think it's good to have it limited to a couple of weapons. Because if like everyone can parry, like then you just get to like this weird like 360 no scope rotation to try to like hit legs, and it becomes like Mordhau or like Shiv, where like I don't know, it dilutes the combat to have people just doing like weird shit all the time.
No, okay, I'm with you on that. Now, if there's like
Yeah.
feints and like crazy shit like that,
Right.
there are going to be gods that fucking destroy everyone, and the
Yeah, you
new
don't
player
want that.
experience would be ruined. Like Mordhau and Chivalry and shit. Like as a new player, you go into that game one of those games, and you just get bodied and destroyed, and it's like the same 200 dudes on constantly, just parrying and feinting everything, right? It's not that fun to play against. Now, that being said, I think a couple of other mechanics on certain items would be really cool. Like
I got one.
Okay, what you got?
Sorry. What's it called? When you like catch the swing with your sword in Mordau? What if they added that into the game?
Like a clash, like if your weapons clash.
It's gotta.
That would
it's
be
not a
sick.
riposte. Somebody knows what it is. Chambering, yes. What about
chambering.
Okay, explain that.
Yeah, so like when someone's swinging at you, if you time your attack at the right time, it basically parries their attack and gives you an automatic counter, which it's like a tenth of a second window. Very high skill cap. I think that's dangerous.
That's
like,
too dangerous. Now, what about this? What about the counters out, but you can attack and clash someone's weapon and just cancel out each other's attacks? That would be sick.
No damage, but just like it's like an alternative block kind of.
That would be sick. Imagine like two rogues with rapiers, like clanking rapiers, going at it back and forth, dancing.
Sick.
That'd be so
I
fun.
think it'd be sick.
That would be
that'd be
cool
awesome.
as fuck. Yeah, I don't think that'd be that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind if it just like if you clink the weapons and you're both back to where you started. That
sounds fun actually. That sounds
Also,
fun.
Also sounds kind of rare.
Mordau mechanics very dangerous, but something I do like in Mordau, all of the weapons you could throw them, baby. If I want to throw my wormhole at you, if I want to take the chance and throw my weapon at you, I should have that option.
There should be a throwing weapon perk for Barbarian, 100%.
Oh,
it only
okay,
makes
dude.
sense. Throwing
Okay,
your
but
hatchet.
imagine jumping backward.
That's
and
what they
180
do.
Grab the weapon.
That's
Like,
what
just
Barbarians do.
grab
They
his
throw
weapon and
shit.
Run.
They have improvised weapons. They throw shit. Matt,
They
you
throw
can,
30 axes a game.
All right, Jay.
okay.
Jay,
But
how many
if
times
you
have-
throw your horseman axe and you don't go pick it up, you're fisting people at
I'm
that point.
picking that shit up.
If you can
instantly.
get to
Someone
it,
throw a
if you
weapon
can
at
get
me.
to it.
Yep.
I don't know.
Like, how many times have you been out of fireballs and been like, man, I really wish I could just throw this book at this guy. But like,
No.
Ignite your book and throw it. Yeah, it's the barbarian with a
You should
scroll.
make
Yeah.
the left click with the book a punch. Yes, that is well needed. Yes,
I
you
just
should be
hit
able
it.
to do that.
Smacking
phone
someone
book,
with
you
the
know?
spine of the book would be sick. Yeah, for like
Sure.
5 damage.
Yeah, I'm down. But that's
Yeah,
that,
and
only
I
the spell
parry
book.
it with a longsword and riposte you and you're dead.
No,
Only the
you
spellbook,
actually
please.
hit someone with a spell, like a page falls out and you can't use Ignite anymore. Yeah.
I forgot.
There's blood on the page.
That knowledge is lost forever.
Shit,
Warlock
what's that
now.
spell? Fuck, I can't remember. Yeah, Lami, I am a big D&D nerd. Let's see here. We got more questions. So Trevor Nocturnal, and I think other people on Reddit, are a little upset that basic kit lobbies are not being considered by devs. What do we think? We've talked about this before too. I think that would be fun as an event, but not a constant thing.
Yep.
Okay.
I want it to be constant. I've been very vocal about it. I think High Roller, get rid of it. I think you should have the option to queue into naked lobbies, which would basically replace normals, and then you just have geared queue, which would basically replace High Roller. But they both be free, and like if you want to wear any amount of gear, you're now in the geared lobby, baby.
Okay, what about like consumables and like health pots and shit?
Sure,
I
you
can
bring
throw all that around. I can.
Yeah. You
Okay,
can bring some
okay.
consumables. You can fill your tool belt. Let's just say,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so the 1 to 15 lobbies. What do you
1 to
guys
14,
think? I think
1
it's
to 14.
great. 1 to 14. I think it's great. What do you guys think?
I like it.
I think it's really good.
Yeah, I think it's good for new
Okay.
players. I think
Okay,
there's some scumbags out here like Sobad who go in there with Aegis and Fulgor and stomp on Timmy's, and he's all over Reddit
Okay, I have
because
the
of it.
follow-up. I have the
Okay.
follow-up. Ironmace, I hope you're listening. If you are a 1 to 14 and you queue with a 15 to 20, it flags you as now a 15 and up, and you can no longer queue in 1 to 14.
Yes,
Because that will
yes,
stop
yes.
the whole drop trading to level
True.
1s.
Oh, like a
That fixes
permanent
drop
flag?
trading.
Yes, like
Oh,
you're now you're level
Wow.
1, but your flag
Yes.
is 15 and up.
Yeah.
If you group and play with a
Oh.
team that is 15 and up,
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
solve it.
they
That's a
need
good.
to
That's a
make
good
that.
idea.
They need to do
Also,
it,
1 to 15
personally.
lobbies need to have slightly less gear because a ton of people are resetting, even veteran adventurers. Even I do it all the
No, that's not
time.
how it works.
Like I
Sorry.
shouldn't be able to go ruins as a level 1 and pull purples from the royal coffins. It makes me want to just go 1 to 15, trade everything away, and then delete and go 1 to 15 again.
I think the
think
Royal
it's fun,
Coffin
personally.
loot table stuff is gonna get
No,
changed.
we're
real
like
quick.
shitting on the noobs, man. Like the 1 to 15 lobby should be for new players only, but all of us go there. It is like not helping them. Like they're getting fucking 1v3'd because it's beneficial for us to go there and practice bossing, get all the same loot from ruins, mine gold ore. Like we have really taken advantage of that system.
Maybe
Okay.
you.
And I think
Sorry.
No, everyone
Jay's
has.
point.
Get out of here.
Yeah, Jay's point. I think would actually fix that shit.
I need to
For the most
clarify,
part.
so a lot of chat is confused. Okay. So right now, if you're level 1 and I queue up with Ken on his level 20, and he has a shit ton of fighter gear for me, we go into a game. Yes, that game is 15 and up. He can drop me all that gear, we extract. Now I'm still a level 1 with god tier gear, and I can kick him out of my party and go back into 1 to 14.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a permanent flag for your level 1 that is now in the 15 and up queues. Since a lot of
Right.
people are very confused in the chat.
That's a step in the right direction.
And I got that because I was running a full bis level 11 warlock with full gore, and I was like, this is just like so shameless, you know? Like it was
Yeah,
just,
I don't know who would do that. It's super rude.
yeah,
Crazy.
interesting.
I think you just run it as a trading license. I think we talked about this on the pod before, but if you just say traders can only play with traders and non-traders can only play with non-traders, that also fixes a good portion of it.
True.
So if at level 1
That's an
you want
option.
to have, I mean, maybe it's not as significant now because the vendors are so much better. Like that used to be a really big factor, but I don't know. I'd
Sure.
probably have to give it some more thought at this point. But yeah, Jay, what you said would definitely work. So
I think the 1 to 14 was
that.
probably the greatest change that they made.
Really good
100%.
change.
I agree that it's excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. We are corrupting that lobby, but there's a way around it. We
Yeah,
can
it's
fix
just
that.
a little shameless.
Well, like when I'm just leveling a new character like innocently and I have nothing, it does feel good to not have to go against super good people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Making sure like I'm a veteran player, but like if I'm level 1, I should be against other level 1s who don't have gear. It feels kind of good just to be naked versus other nakeds. I like it.
The other day, I queued in this guy who backpedaled into a corner with a zombie on him, and I just watched nature happen in the 1 to 14 lobby. So,
Darwinism
you should
at
not
its
be
finest.
dropping gear. To yourself. And
The best is with the warlock. Like watching them be in a corner and then be like, I could really put a Hydra there. Now they're definitely dead. If they weren't dead before, they're dead now for sure.
Bully's so bad over here.
I go both ways.
Hmm.
I'm
Oh, really?
chaotic neutral.
Nice.
All right.
Nice, dude.
Hi, Cooper.
Okay, so obviously chats. We've been talking and not looking at what you're typing. Sorry, we've missed several questions. So if we've missed a question, go ahead and repeat it now so we can catch you. But let's do a few more than call because we've been
The
over 2
one
hours.
comment that I have from my chat that's really smart is instead of 1 to 15, you split it by triumph level. That's the best suggestion I've heard so far. That way we cannot play with the brand new players at all. We're all triumph 5+. We're in our own queue.
Yeah, but like, what if I want to level a level 1 character,
Well, you're in the triumph lobby. You've got the skill and know how to do it.
but not the pixels? I'm gonna get stat checked.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know
personally.
about that one either now that you said that.
That's just a side
Initially, that was a
take
good
to
idea.
gear score system.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah,
good to
you're
just
right.
it's good to just fucking
Or
throw
MMR.
shit at the wall and pick it apart, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that's how you.
I
That's how
think
you
their current system is almost perfect.
yeah, they said to fix like the abusing, like you said. Like Jay's idea was
just drop
great.
trading. It's
yeah,
over.
that's a problem.
Mhm.
That was a
Drop
problem in
trading just
Tarkov.
ruins
Yeah.
it, so just completely ruins it.
Virally has an interesting question. What's everyone's take on Reddit and Discord being flooded with anti-streamer sentiment? It's, dude, I'll tell you a little
Bro.
secret. It's been like that for a decade. People
Yeah.
just don't like people that have influence over something they like, and they see them making money at the same time, and they're not making that money, so they get fucking bitchy. I've seen it. I saw it when I worked at Twitch. I saw it when I was a full-time streamer. I see it now being a casual hobbyist and being attached to the space. It's always been like that, and it always will be.
I've never looked at Reddit before this game, but they are fucking crazy. I got people making up stories about me out of like literally just like they're insane. I worry for their mental health.
You are
They
a
make
you
up
are a
random
talking
stories.
head that they can point at
It's
and blame
crazy.
shit on. It's just you're a scapegoat. Like, I can see
Yeah,
this
it's
guy.
really
He's
ridiculous.
playing the game. I'm going to blame this person because he is, a talking head that has influence in the community. Therefore, it must be his fault. I was talking to my buddy earlier today, and he's convinced that Ironmace is catering to like a dozen streamers and is making changes and dropping hotfixes based on how they feel about the game, and that they're catering to just like a few content creators. He's convinced. He thinks he has proof. I'm
I
like,
think
dude,
the only
dude,
person-
you're brain dead. That's not true.
The only person they're blatantly listening to is the lead dev Spud Hunter, but that's a different.
Yeah, right.
And if that was true, why is Wizard dead, Ken? Answer me that question. Why is it dead?
I don't know. SBS got Rogues nerfed,
Hello?
right? So I think everybody should give me like a little TY for that one.
Yeah.
That was my only ask from last season. Multiple times in rank 1 chat, I was like, please fucking nerf them. Like, they're not even trying, dude.
It wasn't even just streamers. It was the community as a whole. Everybody was complaining about rogues. Nobody was having fun when rogues are one-shotting you out of stealth.
Yeah.
So like, sure, out of 100% of the player base, a lot of those players are streamers and they have these talking points, and we're like the people in the spotlight. But yeah, no, Reddit is crazy. Fuck Reddit.
Also,
It's times like this I'm glad I read at like a 3rd grade level, so I can't even deal with those. I can't even read Reddit. So I'm happy. Ignorance is bliss. So say that.
Jay, can I ask a personal question real quick? It's not from chat. It's from SBS. How come as one of the top ranked players in the world, you also play 12 or 16 hours a day? How come you've never been rank 1 on any of the leaderboards?
I play fucking Wizard. Tell him, Ken.
Wow.
It's hard out here for the Wizard players.
Wizard sucks. No, tell him. Tell him the truth.
No, Wizard is powerful against players. Wizard is miserable the other 80% of the time you're in the dungeon.
Yeah.
So when there's no leaderboards going on, no one wants to be playing this shit.
I got a counter. SPS. When did you get rank 1?
Multiple times. Is this real?
No. Give me a time.
It might have been a year ago. It might have been a year ago twice.
Stop right there.
I don't have to try anymore. Here's the thing. I feel like you're yelling up to the mountain. I can barely hear you.
I'll see you at TwitchCon, buddy. I'll see you at TwitchCon.
Oh my god, you guys are silly.
Omo, you let it go too long. It's 5 minutes too long right now.
This is great, guys. It was a real pleasure, for real.
This is you guys are hilarious.
Thank you for inviting us on, Soma. I've been waiting months. The
I know, dude. I know you're finally
looked
on.
Up to you guys.
Yeah.
We thought, why don't we just talk about Dark and Darker for an hour or an hour and a half as well? It's been great. So thank you guys for starting the first Dark and Darker podcast. It led us to where we are, and I love and respect you all. Keep on keeping on, baby.
All right.
Then he walks off into the sunset.
There he goes. He's gone. What an exit.
This man's gonna go do his fucking laundry. Okay.
More grapes. I'm side questing.
Oh,
You guys
okay.
are just talking. I'm side questing.
Nice narrator. Nice.
Thank you.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow. Okay, so I think we're done with questions, but I do want to say that we have TwitchCon coming up in a couple of weeks. Who here's going?
We do.
Arcane's coming.
Ken,
Jay's coming.
Everybody, but
ticket.
not me. Dude.
Buy the ticket right now.
Again, dude, I hate you guys.
Why? Why are you
not
not coming?
What are you doing?
Because they're gonna drop leaderboards on TwitchCon day, and I want to be ahead of the
know
curve,
what?
baby.
Then you
I
just
actually
roll
kind of-
Barb
I
and
kind of
catch
agree
up
with
and beat
Ken.
everyone anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't bought my ticket yet because if the qualifiers for the Dark and Darker tournament are the 13th, when are semis? Wouldn't that be like a week later?
I got a laptop now. I'm good.
You're gonna play the semifinals on a laptop. In
Dude,
Vegas.
that sounds based.
I'll be
actually.
in that
Oh.
hotel room,
That-
just clacking away.
Okay,
man.
guys, this
On
is
the
Jay.
touchpad?
This is Jay in the semis. All right.
Oh, okay.
That's hilarious. Well, Ken, you should go. I mean, I live, 10 minutes away from where it's going to be, so I'll be there. But I'll see. That's all right.
I know,
Start
the planes do
walking
exist.
now. Start walking now, bro. Use those Chevrolet legs.
walking.
Yeah.
True.
I asked for Pose to come. He says he's not going to come, which
What,
sucks. but-
TwitchCon?
yeah, but I think there's going to be some other folks out. I think the Dark and Darker folks should have like a big dinner and drinks kind of a thing. I think it'd be very fun. We could talk
Super
about
down.
that.
Agreed. Yeah,
We'll
is there
talk
like a
about that.
medieval times or something? I haven't been to Vegas in like
That would
a
be
decade.
fitting. That'd be
There
fitting.
is.
That would be
There
very
is.
fitting.
I went on Christmas Day once. It was pretty wild. People get
To medieval
fucking-
times?
Yeah, it's in the and like the Excalibur Hotel looks like a big giant like fake castle.
Okay.
They have like a medieval times thing downstairs down there with the full shebang, the horses, the jousting. You fucking eat a big fucking chicken leg and drink a beer and shit and cheer 'em on and huzzah and all that shit. It's pretty cheesy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
We can get
if you're
pics, though.
trying to get lit, it
Yeah.
can be pretty fun. If you want to eat like
I hope you guys are ready. Y'all gonna have to drag me out wherever we're going.
what are you talking about?
Well, he'll be in his hotel on
We-
the laptop.
What do you mean? I'm about to get fucked up. What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Yeah, dude, he's gonna be
Hello?
gonna get that ale and me, dude. He's gonna be getting
That's
turned.
right.
Brewmaster, baby.
Let's carry him on a chair or something.
I'm a big dude, man. Y'all gonna have to.
Aren't
team
you like
up.
6'3", Jay?
6'2"?
6'2"?
Wait, what?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
How tall are you, so bud?
I'm 5'1".
5'1". Okay.
5'1", 91 pounds. Wet, soaking wet.
He said I'm 5'1". That was hilarious. Okay. I thought Arcane was going to be the tallest.
No.
Arcane looks the
Average height.
most put together, though.
Yeah.
Like, look at his background. It's so nice.
Is
Arcane.
it the backwards hat? Yeah, that gives it away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, not tall, not even 6 feet.
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
Wow.
Uh,
Oh,
6'3"
I
over
feel
here, no
so
big deal.
small. Yeah, holy
Oh,
shit.
okay.
What a
Say
thing
it,
to
TwitchCon,
say.
Ken.
Yeah.
I'm 6'3", dude. I'm sorry. Well, whenever we have the Twitch Rivals boxing match, you know, two wizards.
Oh shit.
All right, I'll put on some size.
All right, bet. What are
Alright.
you eating? Is that a cookie?
Pizza. Cold pizza.
Interesting.
Been sitting there for 2 hours.
So, Lucy from Ironmace is watching. She said, "Great podcast. Took a lot of notes tonight." That's
Hey,
pretty
Lucy.
cool.
Oh, no.
why
Look
would you
what
say
you just
that?
did.
Remove.
Soma. That's
Re-
right.
No. That's
Oh
okay.
my
That's
God.
no. It's
Viewers.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to talk about this because guess what? It's okay to be honest, folks. Iron Mace is watching the podcast.
We're all over Reddit.
Listening to players talk about this. They're taking notes. Let's see if anything changes. Let's see if after all this stuff that we said tonight, all of our ideas, let's see if they actually implement one.
Okay,
We'll see.
I would be
We'll
willing
see.
to
We'll see.
wager
We'll see if
any-
that's true or not.
Any amount of gifted subs, Eldritch Shield gets a nerf. Alright? All of us were playing Warlock and we're all like, what is this?
Yeah.
This shit's crazy.
We'll see. We'll see if
Honest-
it's true. We'll see if the rumors are
No,
true.
Soma, you have to make sure we write down all these ideas in the super elite hidden Discord.
Yes,
Mhm.
Yeah, you forgot about
that's
that.
right. That's
We
right.
still have to do the formal submission.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't mean to blow you up, Lucy. Sorry about that. But I just think it's going to be
He's
interesting
never
to see.
watching again.
Of course he will. He's going to come on. He's coming on next week. No, I'm just kidding. He's
Oh.
not. He's not.
Oh,
He's
wait.
not. He's never going to come on. Let's be real. But yeah, I'm
one-to-one
interested to
band,
see if they actually do take advice and ideas from the players and the content creators. Just throwing it out there. I want to be honest. I want to see. I will say this. I mentioned that it would be amazing if there was a special queue for people that had 3 perks or less, a 1 through 14 queue on a couple of weeks ago, and they did it like 2 days
That was
later.
on our podcast.
Yeah, that was on your podcast. That's
Yeah.
right.
It just proves the devs are watching ours.
I think they were going to
Also.
do that anyway, though.
Yeah. No, that was a good idea. That was a good
They
idea.
were going to do that
6
anyway.
months ago.
Yeah, that was a really good idea.
Yeah, we're probably never going to have anyone from
Actually,
Iron Mace on. Let's be
Didn't
real.
you say that, Ken, a long time ago?
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
No,
you-
I
you
didn't
did
want to.
too?
I didn't want to step on Soma's.
Oh, I didn't know. Dude, that's great. I mean, it's
I'm
a
pretty
good
sure
idea.
Ken said that when he was on our. Oh, how long ago was that? That was like
Yeah,
months ago.
months ago. Yeah,
You
all good.
said that queue on our podcast?
I might have.
I think so.
Oh shit! Then
think you did.
they obviously fucking watch. They obviously listen, and I feel like Ken should be spouting up more ideas.
Honestly, me and Spud Hunter should just make the game. We just have the best ideas.
Oh no.
Yeah. No,
Injure on top.
Crib Nasty in chat says pretty normal idea to have a beginner queue. It is. I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's not-
I don't think the
not
darkest
revolutionary.
hour or hold the line is dictating how they change their game. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But yeah, Ken, come to TwitchCon. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys in person. It's gonna be fun. Grab some drinks, grab some food, and enjoy Vegas a little bit. It's nice and cool outside now. It's like 70s, so it's not even hot anymore,
Nice.
which is great.
Sounds like shorts and short sleeve tees.
I was out in shorts and flip flops and a t-shirt, and wasn't too hot. It was nice and chill out. It was great.
I don't even own sleeves, so
I've actually never seen you in sleeves. It's true.
yeah, I don't have them.
It's true. Okay, so let's see here. I think that'll do it for episode 35. We've been live for almost 2.5 hours. Thanks for dealing with my coughing, like my COVID fog brain. I'm like scatterbrained as fuck. I've been sleeping like 12 hours a day, like getting over this fucking illness. So
What's that like?
It's like really, really terrible sleep where I like wake up sweating a lot and shit like that. It's not good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm finally feeling better. So it was good to be able to finally catch up with all of you guys. And it, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, it sucked missing last week. But, you know, sometimes people get sick. Donnie, we hope you're feeling better. We'll see you on Tuesday, hopefully.
Yeah, best wishes.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do this shit when you're super, super sick. So we had to skip it. But we had a good episode tonight. This was a fucking excellent one. You guys are amazing. I really love your podcast. Jay, you should be on next. You guys should have the best wizard in the world on, right, Ken? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
That's Ken.
I'm the warlock king these days. Don't worry about it.
There you go. You're the best warlock. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Keep up the awesome work with all of your content. You guys are class acts, and much love to all three of you. Jay, thanks as always. Donnie, feel better. We'll see you Tuesday, hopefully. Go to the doctor, you fucking lunatic. Chat, all the chats. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for listening to our crazy ideas and our rants. We appreciate it. We will see you guys next Tuesday at 7 p.m. PT for episode 36. I actually don't know what guest we're going to have on. I don't even have any idea what that episode's going to be. I think it's about time that we hunt down Spuddy and pull him in. Jay?
I'll hit him up.
Snipe that motherfucker. We're bringing him on. It's time. It's time. Okay. That being said, have a great evening, a great rest of your week, and thanks for watching.
Awesome. Peace.
See you guys next time.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.